Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Data here. Happy Canada Day and happy free agent frenzy as we are just about 10 minutes away from the opening of the 2023 unrestricted free agency period. It is going to be an exciting time. Last year, there were 131 signings in free agency, spending almost $600 million. So we're expecting some big deals here today with many free agents available. Patrick Kane, Vladimir Tarasenko, Matt Duchene. We're thinking Jonathan Toews, Blake Wheeler, Dmitry Orlov, just naming a few names off the top of my head. We've already had some signings come down already earlier today that we'll go ahead and start covering. Vinny, welcome to the stream. Connor, welcome aboard. Owen, I was going to watch the TSN, then your stream popped up. I'll choose you. Owen, buddy, you're a real one. We're going to have TSN going on the side anyways. It's commercial break right now, but we'll have TSN going at the same time. We'll be refreshing Twitter and everything. Twitter wasn't working at some point. For me, it's working, but for some people, it's still not. Personally, it is working at the moment, so hopefully it'll continue to work. RJ, welcome to the stream, buddy. It's an exciting time. This is the last live stream for a little while in terms of scheduled live streams. We had the draft. We had MLB The Show last night. We have free agency today. We'll have breaking news as it happens in the NHL live streams going into the months of July and August. But this is the last one for a little while according to a schedule. Jeremy, welcome to the stream. Good morning and happy Canada Day to everybody joining us here. So let's go ahead and get this party started. There were already a few signings earlier today and even in the last few days. I'm not going to go break down everything in the last few days, but we can go ahead and cover it. Big deals such as Adin Hill getting a 2-year deal at $4.9 million per year with Vegas. Joey Daccord signed a big deal, getting $1.2 per year for 2 years. He's been in the AHL for Seattle, but he had a great showing with Coachella. So I guess they want to get him on board in maybe a backup role next year. Costin is staying in Detroit, part of the Yamamoto deal. Yamamoto was bought out, but Costin signs a 2x2 deal. Eric Brandstrom signs 1 year, $2 million with the Senators. Jacob Bernard Docker signs 2 years at $805K per year. Very nice deal for the Senators right there. And the biggest one of the day so far, money-wise, is Oliver Ekman-Larsson signing 1 year, $2.25 million with the Florida Panthers. A good deal. I think that's a very good fit as well. I like that very much for the Panthers. I think it's a good fit for Ekman-Larsson. I think it's a good price. Good morning, Mr. Brian Michalak. Welcome, my friend. Journey of an Author. Alfred, welcome. We're doing well. We're doing well. I'm still disgusted with Habs fans with Reinbacher. Well, if you're about the reaction that many are having, yeah, I agree. Invaluable. Welcome to the stream, buddy. 4 million is a lot for a guy who nobody knew of a year ago, but it's only 2 years. Right. Yeah, Ekman-Larsson, that was one that just came down. I think that any deal with a player who was bought out I think you were allowed to have negotiations. I'm not exactly sure what the NHL's rules are. It used to be that you could have a talking period. Then as soon as 12 o'clock hit, bang, all the deals used to happen. Then at a certain point, it was you can only start talking to the players at 12 o'clock. Now I think it's with like certain permissions if they're bought out. I'm confused what the exact rule is with when you're allowed to talk to who. But we already know about Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He was bought out by the Canucks, and he'll be signing with the Florida Panthers. What is the topo for now? I just arrived. The topic is that what we're looking about. The topic right now, NHL free agency. That's what we're doing here for the start of this free agent period in about 6 minutes from now. Yeah, storming. You're storming in the South Shore. I'm not too far from you. Yane, welcome to the stream, buddy. I know it's going to be 6 p.m. for you when free agency opens, but it'll be 12 p.m. for us. James Duffy, he's back on.
Expect a flurry of deals to be made official. Of course, the insiders are reporting a number of them, even though you're not supposed to talk to anybody until exactly 12 o'clock.
That's the rule. You can't talk till 12, but people don't really care.
Signing his entry-level deal with the Columbus.
So we saw Jesper Foss will also be staying with the Carolina Hurricanes. Adam Fantilli signing his entry-level deal. Antti Raanta staying in Carolina 1 year at $1.5 million. We can't break down every single signing, but we'll definitely cover each one. So that's a great deal for the Hurricanes. Ranta's a good fringe starter when needed to be. 1 year, $1.5 million. That's a great deal for them, especially as it looks like Freddie Anderson is likely going to the to free agency. The recap for now, not too much to say, Rafael. Not too much of a recap as of now. Oliver Ekman-Larsson signing in Florida. Klim Kostin signing an extension with Detroit. Adin Hill signed an extension yesterday. As of today, so far, we know Antti Raanta staying in Carolina. Jesper Foss staying in Carolina. What else can we see so far? Jesper Fast, 2 years at $2.4 million per year. Alex Killorn is headed to free agency. Blake Wheeler may be going to the New York Rangers as of now. He's going to be a free agent, of course, a very highly sought after one, as he just got bought out by the Winnipeg Jets. It is July 1st, so William Nylander has officially submitted his 10-team no-trade list to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Teams are still pushing on an Erik Karlsson deal. Ryan Reeves going to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I saw that earlier on. Mackenzie Blackwood is staying with the San Jose Sharks. I think it makes a lot of sense for him as well. Ryan Reeves, 3 years at $1.3 million. He checks, and that's it. I don't know if I agree with this deal for the Leafs. This is definitely a good value deal, 3 years at $1.3 million. But I don't know about this for Toronto. They got Matt Martin, it didn't work out. They got Wayne Simmons, it didn't work out. Now they have Ryan Reeves. He's good. I love him. He does what he's supposed to do very well. He's even responsible enough defensively. But I don't know if I love it for the Leafs in terms of, is that what they needed? I don't hate it. It's just, it doesn't address the bigger issue. So it's a good AAV, but locking in at 3 years is a little bit scary. Hopefully continue to bring that type of game that he has brought over the next few years. I don't think anything else happened. Brian Dumoulin will be hitting free agency. Anthony Stolar going to Florida. 1 year, $1 million. I think that was about it for what had happened earlier today. Michael Bunting generating interest. And as of now, I think that catches us up. As I wasn't going to start live streaming from like 10 a.m., but there were things that were happening throughout the morning so far. Let's go to back to the top here and see if there's anything new to just report on here. As of now, it doesn't sound like Boston going to circle back and Tyler Bertuzzi. That's a big pivot right there. So Bertuzzi expected to leave the Boston Bruins 3 minutes till free agency opens up. Antti Ranta, very good, valuable goalie, very reliable. I like that signing for the Hurricanes a lot. That is a good value deal. On TSN right now, they have the big board of UFAs, Orlov, Bertuzzi, Zucker, O'Reilly, Killorn, a lot of big names out there that didn't make it onto my thumbnail. So there you go. Very good. One last tweet. Anything new? All right. We'll be following the live tracker as well, refreshing that as we go. Yeah, that's the term. That's the term that helped him. Definitely would have signed. That was the most tempting, not tempting, the most lucrative thing for him probably. JT Compher, Tarasenko, Kane, Klingberg, Tristan Jarry. A lot of names here in free agency. I think I'll likely keep it on. The phone's going off. Is that Alex Killorn's agent calling me? Bunting, Domi, Mayfield, Gostisbehere, Dumba, Dumoulin, Tatar, Sheary, Shattenkirk.
It's the top 20. We have a list that goes 70 deep. And
they have 70 names on their list.
Qualifying offers. It is a long, long list of unrestricted free agents out there right now. And we continue to get signings that are coming through.
Gord Miller's eating a sandwich. The panels are all going. Everyone has their computers open over at TSN. So it'll be an exciting time here. Big day. We're a couple minutes away. And we'll see what deals start to drop. Obviously, we're only going to be live streaming for about an hour or so. We're not going to be here all day, nor TSN is going till 5 o'clock. We're going to go probably till 1 p.m. Eastern. That's when the majority of the things that are going to happen will happen. The players who haven't decided by now are not going to decide in 30 minutes from 2 to 2:30 or from 3:15 to 3:45. Those usually take a few days. I remember the Matt Sundin saga when he signed with Vancouver taking so long. Yeah, Jesper Fast did resign 2 years at $2.4 million with the Carolina Hurricanes. Where do you think Ryan O'Reilly will sign? And yes, Ryan Bacher will stay in the NLA. I'm like 95% sure for next year. If I previously mentioned, make that sense. Sorry. Owen said, what time zone is everyone going on? Like the GMs, what time zone? Yeah, it's 12 p.m. Eastern. That's when free agency begins. So it's 9 a.m. Pacific. That's when it begins. Where do I think that Ryan O'Reilly will land? So many different options. Like if we're looking at teams that have the salary cap, a lot of them do on July 1st, right? It's not like this is live. It's not like in the middle of the season where you got to make things move around. The day in which you have the most money to spend is July 1st. I think a lot of teams could take a run at Ryan O'Reilly. In terms of fit, the Leafs would love to have him back. The Blues would love to have him back. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's like surprise teams out there that are saying, hey, buddy, we got money. We got a spot for you. How about you think about changing that and coming over here? Like if you just threw out, if you told me like he was signing with the Minnesota Wild, I'd say, oh, wow, like, okay, it makes sense. But aside from that, I don't really have any inside information for you on Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah. We're 10 seconds out. Let's count it down.
To the mere seconds now. And again, this is not like the trade deadline where we sometimes sit and stumble and fidget for about half an hour. That's coming down.
Woo! Joel Edmondson traded to Washington. Joel Edmondson is off to the Washington Capitals. The Montreal Canadiens are receiving picks back the other way. Oh, breaking news. Breaking news as the Canadiens have traded Joel Edmondson to the Washington Capitals, a deal that I thought was coming. I thought that the Canadiens would trade Joel Edmondson sometime during the offseason, and it happens right here as free agency begins. Wow. Anything else here to see? No. We'll see the draft picks in a moment, but Joel Edmondson traded to the Washington Capitals. Woo! A very valuable player. A very valuable player. I like Joel Edmondson very much. Sorry, let me just, I'll turn this off for a second while I pull it up. The Google sheet is going to take a few seconds to get probably. They're going to break that.
All right. So noon has come. Officially, the period is here that you can start doing things. Bob McKenzie leading out of the shot.
Gordon and I that was the Jose Theodore train.
No.
Jose Theodore.
Cristobal you wait. Oh, Cristobal you wait.
Yeah, so I reported that he was being traded to Washington, and both Driggs and Bob leaned out of the shot because they wanted nothing to do with it. It turned out to be true. But
oh, he's good. We'll break it down in a second for you, Jack.
So let's start talking about what might be going on here. First of all, Driggs, you mentioned Matt Duchene a few minutes ago.
I did, and it's a bit of a long story, and I won't bore anyone with all of the details. It's the tricky part of leading up to the noon Eastern deadline. So the Edmonton Oilers were in agreement essentially with Matt Duchene, but made a sudden change. They shifted at the last second.
Interesting.
Matt Duchene has signed with Pittsburgh now.
Matt Duchene to the Penguins. Okay.
And by the way, trade as well, right? Still being finalized, and that is Joel Edmondson going from the Montreal Canadiens to the Washington Capitals in exchange for draft picks.
A guy who was not a free agent, but who was a big story at the NHL draft on Wednesday was Adam Fantilli, a Michigan guy, a Wolverine, won the Hobie Baker Award as the top player in college hockey. Gets drafted by Columbus, third overall, the home of the Ohio State University.
Absolutely. And the first player from the 2023 draft to officially sign his entry-level deal. That comes on a big day in Columbus. They've unveiled Mike Babcock officially, finally, as their head coach. And Fantilli gets a deal. Looks a lot like the one Simon Nemec got last year, the second overall pick with New Jersey. A little shy of him, but it's a little richer now. You can sign those entry-level deals. So a lot of bonuses in that deal for Fantilli.
Pierre LeBrun, what do you got cooking?
I need these three bubbles to...
There's a lot of blue on that street, I see it.
Actually, I better not mention that, what I just got. So, what do we have? What are you doing?
We don't know the picks just yet.
Alex Killorn's entering the market. Tampa gave it a real 11th hour push, but just couldn't make it work cap-wise. And then as Dregs mentioned, and I also heard Blake Wheeler, I think New York Rangers are a strong possibility for him. Let's see what happens here with the market open.
The Alex Killorn one is amazing in Tampa just because he was constantly talked about as a guy who might have to be dealt by the Lightning due to cap issues. And he got to the end of that contract, despite, annually being talked about as a guy who would be moved. Yes, Dregs.
It looks like Luke Schenn is going to the Nashville Predators.
Oh, Luke Schenn to the Predators. How about that?
3 years, 2.75.
Wow. Well, he loves his
Jinx.
country music. He's going to the right place.
That's obviously more term and money than
Wow.
you're likely to get.
2.75 million per year for Luke Schenn. He was on like a league minimum deal. That's huge money.
James, it's a struggle over here.
A third and a seventh for Joel Edmondson.
A lot of bubbles on the phones. Third and a seventh to Montreal, by the way, in that Edmondson deal for the Habs fans who are wanting to know exactly what they're getting back. A third-round pick and a seventh-round pick, according to various reports. Luke Schenn to Nashville. So that's a guy that really, I think, surprised people for Toronto last year. Became a really dependable guy.
So let's put them on the side for a second. Big signing there for Luke Schenn money-wise. Whew, how about that? Can I, hold on. Can I please see Joel Edmondson? So Joel Edmondson, come on. Copy of these. I always mess up these Google sheets. So Joel Edmondson, for all you Capitals fans out there, this is a player who last year, don't look at last year too much. You got to look at the year prior. It went from nothing to everything to nothing. Not last season, but the year before, above the 75th percentile in defense. He was incredible. He was very good when the Canadiens were on their cup run, coming off of their cup run. He was great. Last year, though, on a very bad team, getting second pair minutes, having to eat a lot of those bad situations, he struggled. So take all that together, put it into 3-year weighted average data. He is a below average defensively. I didn't personally, as a Canadiens fan who sees almost every game, I was not impressed with Joel Edmondson last season. I thought that he was a liability. However, the year prior, he was incredible, as demonstrated by the wins above replacement percentile timeline here. He was in that 75th percentile in the entire league. So he was very good. He was very, very good. But on average, very, very bad, very good, very bad. We'll see which Joel Edmondson shows up to the Washington Capitals. Keep in mind, he was playing against some of the best competition in the league in that 83rd percentile, and his numbers weren't great. Makes sense, but I'll be curious to see how he does when on the Capitals instead. So Luke Schenn, big signing there for the Nashville Predators. They got to pay, the Predators and the Canadiens even retaining 50%. Really, it's only for one more year though. The Predators and the Blackhawks are two teams that need to just spend money. So I guess that makes sense. But wow, Maltsev, 1 year, $775K. There's the Luke Schenn card here. He's a physical depth defenseman who throws more hits than any other blue liner. He's leading the league year after year. Takes a lot of penalties too, though. Don't read too much into those assists. Big on-ice finishing bump this year. You got to look over a bit of a larger span here. So, yeah, he is slightly below average for the even strength stuff. His value comes off this chart, I think, because he leads the league in hits. He does a lot of stuff away from the puck as well. So, he deserved a raise, and the Predators had a ton of money to spend. Why not? Kings signed Jared Anderson-Dolan to a 1 year, $775K deal. And yeah, biggest deal in terms of the trade, biggest trade of the day, Joel Edmondson to the Washington Capitals for a 3rd and a 7th. Connor Brown signing with the Edmonton Oilers. Many people saw that one coming. Connor McDavid's old buddy. He'll be going back to see his friend. Let's go see Connor Brown. I want to see Brown's numbers in juniors as well. So Connor Brown going to the Edmonton Oilers to be on that right wing with Connor McDavid in Erie. Yeah, 128 points, 68 games with the Erie Otters back in the day. 6th round pick in 2012. Last season, he had 39 points in 68 games. Actually, no, sorry. He only played 4 games. I guess that was due to injury. With the Senators, he was okay. Maybe Hobbsy can send out some thoughts on that. Hobbsy, our resident Senators fan, if you have any thoughts on Connor Brown. But I think put him with McDavid and things will be very different, right? Brown to Edmonton. What did you miss, RJ? Joel Edmondson traded from the Montreal Canadiens to the Washington Capitals for a 3rd and a 7th at 50% retained. A few other various signings down there. Spend money now while bad to help develop the young guys and then have those bad deals expire later. You are exactly correct. It looks a bit weird, but it's exactly right. And it's exactly what you got to do. What's up on Cap Friendly? If I refresh on Cap Friendly, what will they tell me? Let me refresh on Sportsnet as well. Just this whole day is refreshing. Kronos, as a Sens fan, he was very, very good on the penalty kill in the bubble. Good. I didn't know you were a Sens fan, Kronos. Kronos and Hobbsy, the 2 resident Sens fans then. So I think this is a bit delayed here. I'm not going to look at this too much. I'm just going to look at Twitter when it comes to signings. Hold on. Oh, just Gino Reda. Gino! I thought they were going to Dreger at the panel. So here are the signings so far. I think we're going to use Cap Friendly, actually, instead of Sportsnet. They tell me a lot more. So here are the signings that have happened so far. Some of the depth ones as well. We're seeing the Hurricanes making moves as they re-sign Jesper Fast. They re-sign Antti Ranta. Jared Anderson-Dolan going to the Kings most recently. Connor Brown will be going to the Edmonton Oilers as well. We don't know the AAV on him just yet. 3 years, 1.35 was the official number on Ryan Reeves. Habs retained 50% on Edmondson as well. You know what? For the Capitals, put Edmondson on your 3rd pair, only costing you like $1.75 million. No problem with that. Edmondson, I'm sure, I don't know if he'll be as good as he was, as I just said, a couple of seasons ago for the Canadiens, but I'm sure that he'll bounce back to have a bit of a better year than what he just had after a very difficult year with the Canadiens. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pull up the numbers on Connor Brown, actually. I'd be curious to see his average numbers over the last few years. There are Matt Duchene's numbers. I think he's going to be a steal for someone in free agency here. Connor Brown. Martin Biron is talking right now. Connor Brown, let's check him out right here. Bedard will sign his ELC. Yeah, he'll sign his ELC. No problem. Not too worried about that. He'll definitely sign it this offseason. Connor Brown. Away. Groi. Here we go. So Connor Brown, these are good numbers. These are good numbers. He's above average in even strength offense by a good bit, draws penalties, plays against high levels of competition. He was getting the ice time of a first liner. Penalty kill at the bottom here. I would assume this is because his time with the Senators is too far back when he was in the bubble. I would assume that's the case, but I will want to see what the J Fresh cards say most recently on that. Kevin Weeks on the phone right now here on TSN. Getting the TSN notifications on my phone as well. Damian Lillard requesting a trade from the Portland Trailblazers. Really? What else? Ryan O'Reilly to the Nashville Predators. Breaking news. Ryan O'Reilly signing with the Nashville Predators, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan O'Reilly will be signing to replace Matt Duchene on the Nashville Predators. Ryan O'Reilly going to get a huge contract to teach the youngsters over in Nashville, and he will be their first-line center for the foreseeable future, I would think. I'm thinking like 4 or 5 years at $8.5 million plus. Ryan O'Reilly off to the Nashville Predators. Breaking news. Wow. If they had kept Duchene, that'd be 1-2, but I don't know. They wouldn't have the money maybe. O'Reilly, he is elite. 95th percentile of even strength defense. They're still even talking about it on TSN. 95th percentile of even strength defense. He has been incredible the last few years. Mr. Selke as well. He is such a good defensive forward. Huge news for the Nashville Predators. But what are they trying to do, though? They're trying to, I don't know, are they trying to win? Do they want to be competitive? I'm not sure. What do the Predators want to do? What is their identity? Here's the more recent Connor Brown card. Actually, it's from last year. Useful top six winger. Lane Peterson to the Edmonton Oilers. Wow, Ryan O'Reilly. Any other breaking news? Ryan Reeves for 3 years. Yes, Kevin Stenlund to Florida. It's a 4-year contract. 4 by 4 point. Wait, what? Is that for O'Reilly? I'm rate limited. Come on, rate limiting. What? 4 by 4.5? You're kidding. That is crazy. That's what Corey Perry's making. Breaking news here. Let's see what TSN says about all this. That is an incredible AAV.
Ryan Reeves is now a Toronto Maple Leaf, $1.35 million per year on a 3-year contract. And again, we're waiting for the finality on Connor Brown going to Edmonton. But Reeves first. Tell me
about Ryan Reeves. Who cares about Ryan Reeves? Tell me about Ryan O'Reilly. What should Dubas and the Penguins do? Oh, man. Welcome to the stream, buddy. You'll never walk alone. What should they do? They just signed Matt Nieto. They got Riley Smith. They're in the mix for Erik Karlsson even. I can't believe they didn't go after Ryan O'Reilly, even after GM Data did it in the franchise mode. He signs 4 by 4.5. That is crazy. That is crazy. I can't believe that AAV. Nashville, one thing, but I cannot believe that AAV. There's a lot of other teams that you'd be thinking, why didn't they do it? Why didn't they try? Let me pull up Ryan O'Reilly. I want to see how many Selke votes he's gotten in recent history. The Canes have just decided to stand pretty pat. Unless I missed something, they did nothing besides re-signing Fast and Saul. They also re-signed Antti Ranta, 1 year at $1.5 million. Very fair contract right there. Freddie Anderson likely going to free agency, but Ranta will come back as a very valuable player on a very good contract. GM Data overpaid for Ryan O'Reilly, I suppose. That's crazy. That is the biggest shock, one of the biggest shocks of the offseason. 4 years at 4.5. This is O'Reilly's final deal. This deal brings him to 36 years of age. This is his last big contract. He was making, what, 7.5? You would think that he would have been worth a ton more. I do not understand this contract from Ryan O'Reilly's perspective. Ryan O'Reilly has received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 consecutive years from 2011 to 2022 of Selke votes. He has finished as high as first, and he's the last few years he's been third, fifth, fourth in voting. Last season between the Blues and the Maple Leafs, 22-23, he did not receive any votes. They're still talking about Ryan Reeves. Where is the Ryan O'Reilly news on TSN? That's why you got to be on Twitter. You got to be on Twitter. Oh, man. You what? That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm a Bruins fan, and I'm wondering what they're going to do. Whether they are letting Bertuzzi walk, likely letting Orlov walk. The big deal of the offseason was trading away Taylor Hall so far. Ryan O'Reilly signed 4 by 4.5 by Nashville, is a veteran two-way center who can make dangerous passes. He provides a lot of D, but his performance in the playoffs indicated that he needs help at this point in his career. You know, tell me that one bad offseason with a team that lost in the second round to a team that went to the Stanley Cup final is what made him get $4.5 million and take a $3 million pay cut, especially when it comes to moving the puck up the ice. But come on, still in that 90th percentile of even strength defense, 80th of even strength offense. His offense took a dip, then took a big bounce back. He's been consistently a very valuable player, playing against high levels of competition. His offense has been there as well. I am shocked that Ryan O'Reilly could not get a larger AAV. Maybe it's just that he wanted to play in Nashville, but how come Nashville couldn't offer him more with all the money that they have to spend as well? Wow. The Bruins are closing on James Van Riemsdyk 1 year at $1 million. That's pretty much what he's worth at this point. So JVR becomes the depth scoring replacement for Taylor Hall. Let's go back to cap friendly. I got to see Nashville. Are they going to talk about O'Reilly finally?
A lot up front there, so Barry Trotz continues to completely remake that team.
There you go.
Your take on what you were just hearing, Craig?
I'm with Mike Johnson. You know, it's interesting that Ryan Reeves, who we all respect.
They're still talking about Ryan Reeves.
He got traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins, you know, when they were trying to run a few years ago. He couldn't make a difference to their team. Either you're tough and you're going to compete.
That's it. Does that set the market?
Ryan Reeves isn't going to make you any tougher.
Okay. Man, they are the Toronto Sports Network. Ridiculous. Do I need to go to Sportsnet? You lost me. You lost me, TSN. Off to Sportsnet. You lost me. That's ridiculous.
Some space to make certain things happen, or if it's Dumoulin from Pittsburgh, just a couple of ideas. But
there you go. Does he have any connection towards Nashville? Hard to say. He's played against them a lot in the Central Division with the St. Louis Blues. JVR to the Bruins, 1 year, $1 million. Thank you, EJB. Appreciate that. Anything on Bergeron or Krejci? Not yet. Maybe he wanted Nashville. That's true. Maybe that's true. But you would think that he still could have gotten more out of the Predators, who have a lot of money to spend. The Nashville Predators, let's check them out here. Like I don't know about. I already gave my thoughts on Ryan Reeves. They got Matt Martin, didn't do much. They got Wayne Simmons. When Wayne Simmons went to the Maple Leafs, they had all kinds of highlight packs going crazy. Wayne Simmons, here he is, huge guy, 25, 30 goals, super physical presence on the ball. He was getting healthy scratched. Oh, he chose the Leafs over the Canadians. Yeah, the Leafs are better than the Habs. Wayne Simmons, he was washed up. He's finished. Ryan Reeves is good. But again, is that what you need in Toronto? Anyways, the Predators still have about $17 million to play with. Signed by Poyle. Yeah, technically it would be Barry Trotz now. $17 million in the salary cap space still for the Predators. Because they're spending $11.5 million to have Duchene, Turris, Ekholm, Ryan Johansson all gone. So they have their defense set. They have their goalies set. They need a few more forwards, and they have $17 million. So the Predators are in a fine spot. They definitely could have afforded more. I don't know where this AAV comes from. I really don't know where that AAV comes from. Wayne Train. And of course, Twitter's not going to work now. Sportsnet, what's up?
Show you how to do it the right way.
Colby Armstrong. How's it going there, boys?
Rip those guys down. Switch it up.
That helps. But at the beginning of the year, they take away the captaincy from.
This is who? This is Jamal Myers?
Change the culture right away and make things.
Jamal Myers on the panel in Sportsnet. Come on.
3 quarters through the season, Shifley decided he just didn't like it anymore. Didn't want to play the right way, and then things fell off.
So JVR to Boston. 1 year, $1 million for JVR.
And for me, they have to completely get rid of those guys.
Like it's still, even if it was $6 or $7 million, it would have been a great deal. He was making 7.5. This is the final big contract of his career. I'll come back when we get it back. I cannot believe that AAV. And they're just talking about the Jets the whole day.
And you just hope that other team or other players on his team get dragged out of fights. That's insane.
And they're still talking about Ryan Reeves on TSN. It's literally been like 5 minutes. JVR, Ryan O'Reilly, deals are happening and nothing is going. Okay, let's go back to Cap Friendly and refresh Cap Friendly. Maybe that'll tell us something. What a joke in Toronto. Michael McLeod. All right. He's staying with the New Jersey Devils 1 year at $1.4 million. There's some news for us, at least. Let me bring up the cap friendly page for you. At least that's one thing we can see. So Michael McLeod, 1 year, $1.4 million to stay with the Devils. JVR, 1 year, $1 million. He's 34 now. He's getting older. I don't know what his value is really. What would you say that JVR's value is anymore? He was on a bad team, but he also took a couple of big steps back last season. I think even the season before. If you look at James Van Riemsdyk over the last couple of years, so he was up until 2020, 2021, he was very good. He started to drop off. He actually not as horrible of a card as I would have thought, actually. I got to give him credit here. I don't think he's as horrible as I was trying to make him sound. But JVR at $1 million is what he's worth in terms of his offensive production. And the Bruins will like having his ability to be defensive as well, it seems like, in that 50th percentile in the bottom 6. Aside from that, Michael McLeod staying in New Jersey, Kevin Stenlund, Florida, and Ryan O'Reilly with a crazy 4 by 4.5 deal. Boy. I think 4.5 is a good for what he's going to give. His last 2 years have been a slow slide, maybe as much as 5.5, but that's it. It's not even just – it's also that the team has so much money to spend as well. Finally, they're going to the insiders. I think he's worth a bit more, Rock. I think you could have seen 5.56.
So he becomes an unrestricted free agent, and now he's found a landing spot.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying to move him at the trade deadline. It just didn't quite get done before the deadline passed. But yes, now he's in the veteran contract mode, and he's landed with the Boston Bruins, a team obviously that should carry some Stanley Cup aspirations in the next year for Van Riemsdyk. It's a 1-year deal at $1 million, adding a little bit of value to their roster.
Now, one of the other things we've seen in recent years, and Carolina kind of leads the charge on this, is the idea of the goaltending tandem as a 1 and 1A.
You're coming to me.
I am coming to you.
Yeah.
Antti Raanta re-signs with Carolina. That doesn't preclude Freddie Anderson coming back?
No, Carolina has circled back the Freddie Anderson who, technically went to market. There was a thought that maybe Pittsburgh had interest in him for sure if they couldn't get Tristan Jarry re-signed. But Carolina has circled back to Freddie Anderson, and they're trying to work out a deal right now. It's not done, but that's what they're working on right now.
Interesting.
Dregs? you look like you're about to say something.
Well,
Nathan
I
Bastian,
was going to jump on Michael Bunting.
2 years at $1.35 million per year to the Devils.
Over the course of the morning. I think they're still trying to hammer out some details here. There were as many as 5 teams a short while ago that were pretty keen on Mike Bunting. The Toronto Maple Leafs did re-engage earlier in the day, but if he's climbing into the stratosphere of $5 million per with term on that deal, that can't be a fit for the Maple Leafs. So we'll see, but I don't think we should also be overly surprised that Michael Bunting would have that sort of attraction from around the league.
And just to put the bow on the Joel Edmondson trade from Montreal to Washington, it's a 3rd to 7th, and Montreal retains
50% salary.
Montreal retains 50% of Edmondson's salary. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the coming season. James?
All right, thank you, gentlemen. It's a madness hour here.
All right. So let me recap this. Not recap, but I just want to go back to JVR. He has, despite the card not being horrible, his player card, the last couple of years have been a big drop-off. 24 goals in 2021-22, but only 38 points in a full 82-game season while being a negative 33. Last season, only 29 points. That's probably like a high 30-point pace, probably very similar to the year prior, but way less goals, probably on pace for about 15 goals. Yeah, so he's been dropping off, making $7 million. So the Flyers get JVR and his $7 million gone, Kevin Hayes and his $7 million gone. You're still paying him, 3.5, but that's off the books. Decent depth signing for the Bruins. All right, so Twitter is still not working, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Narf. I don't disagree with you. It's just, I think in the market and for what he's given in the past, despite it being maybe a bit of a struggle in the last year or two, his career track record would make me think at 32 years of age, he's still worth way more than $4.5 million. So I would have thought 5.5 or 6 at the very least. Chicago could go for Duchene for a couple of years to help insulate Bedard or maybe Columbus, depending on the money. I could definitely see that as well, especially because they have so much money to spend. I could see Duchene being a fit with the Chicago Blackhawks. As we're going to go back to Cap Friendly is our only source right now. As we refresh, Cap Friendly seems to get stuff done, but Twitter is out of order. That is really unfortunate on such a day for so many people. It is not working. Nice little refresh here. It's loading. It's loading. Let's go back to Sportsnet on the TV here. And it doesn't work. Hey, more Ryan Reeves.
For me, it doesn't address the needs you're going to have when the playoffs come.
Yeah, I disagree
Ryan
with that,
Reeves.
but I think maybe he doesn't have to fight when the playoffs come around, but I feel like the physicality presence that he has can be a huge factor in the playoffs. At Toronto, they weren't hard enough to play against in terms of wearing down your opponents, and here's a guy with a physical presence that can
Yeah, Twitter's down for everybody, it looks
both in
like.
the regular season.
I wonder if the
but also
insiders are still
playoffs.
I'll
tweeting.
quickly say to piggyback on that too. I think Sheldon Keefe, to get him more involved in his game, straight lines, forecheck, play the
My
body.
personal Twitter is
I think
working.
This has been one of my critiques of Toronto. They need to change the way they play. I think they have to look at their lineup. Yes, see what they have. When we bring in a guy like that, you're going to play these.
My personal Twitter account is working, but my Data782 Twitter account is not
straight
working.
lines, get in on forechecks, and be effective that way. If you're going to have a guy like Reeves, and let the big dog eat, right?
Let the big dog eat, big boy.
Not to do neutral zone keep away plays. Like let them get to work. Play a more straight line fashion.
You are rate limited. What does that mean?
Almost half an hour into official signing season, and the names are coming off the board fast and furious. Oh, hold on, you got something?
We got Elliott.
Elliott.
Blake Wheeler to the Rangers.
Blake Wheeler to the Rangers. Elliott Friedman, breaking news.
Dropping bombs here. So,
Blake Wheeler is off to the New York Rangers.
To the Rangers. All right, well, we'll flush that out as well. Montreal Canadiens, what's their story?
That's all. And as they go to commercial break.
You're watching Hockey Central. Hockey Canada.
Okay. Blake Wheeler off to the New York Rangers. That's a big get for the Rangers. Absolutely. The Blake Wheeler, he's still definitely serviceable at 36 years of age. He was still good last year, despite him going downhill a little bit from his prime of being a 90-point kind of guy. The Jets haven't been incredible either, but he still scored 55 on pace for about a 60-point season. The year prior, 60 and 65. Wheeler's going to be a great piece for that middle six for the New York Rangers, who can slot up and down the lineup. I like that very much for New York. I think he fits the type of thing that New York's trying to do. He wanted a change of scenery. He's going back to the Eastern Conference the first time since he was with the Thrashers. The Leafs so badly need depth scoring, so they extended Kampf and Reeves, always doing the opposite of what's required. So Blake Wheeler, however, the major fault in his game is that he's not great defensively. He is, in the EA world, he's been great defensively for our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode, but he is just a physical playmaker. 96th percentile of primary assists per 60. That's 71st percentile of even strength offense, but abysmal defensively. As you can see, he was very good defensively back in like 2019-20, fell off a cliff, then bounced back a little bit. His overall value has also taken a big dip. Excuse me. So that's why him making $8.3 million didn't make sense anymore for the Winnipeg Jets. But now he's off to the New York Rangers, where he'll get a nice change of scenery and probably be relied on a little less as that top guy. And I think that'll do him well. I'm sure the Twitter's still not working here. He will be a better player than Kane was for them, as Kane was injured. And now it works. Great. I just looked up. Blake Wheeler, the Rangers, 1 year, $800K. Incredible contracts here. These are some steals of deals. Nick Foligno and Corey Perry get $4 million each with the Blackhawks, but Blake Wheeler gets $800K, and Ryan O'Reilly $4.5 million plus $300K max bonuses. Quality veteran. And at that AAV, I don't care what his defensive value is. I don't care if it's negative value at $800K and that upside as well. That is an incredible deal. No more Habs news. No, nothing new. Big downgrade from Kane and Tarasenko, though. I agree, Owen. We'll see if that, if they will complement Wheeler with other pickups as well. I would think that there has to be more beyond just Blake Wheeler. They could still fit some. We'll look. Yeah, they could still fit with this pickup. Let's look, maybe not both of them, but they could still fit more people in here. We'll go look at the cap-friendly page in a moment. Just make sure, did we miss anything while Twitter was down? I'm sure it'll go down again momentarily. Blake Wheeler, 1 year contract. Okay. Notable no trade clauses that kick in today. $600K, crazy money ball. Oilers should have tried to get him, but yeah, I don't think he wants to stay in the West. I don't think he wanted to stay in that area geographically either. I think he wanted to make the move to the Eastern Conference. So I don't know if CapFriendly's going to have it yet, but we'll go and check out the Rangers page here. Kane, a shell of a player. So let's see the Rangers with that cap space.
If you've been saying Blake Wheeler to the Rangers, we're going to discuss that, and we can tell you why no Riley's off the board.
They still have about 11 million to play with. I don't think I'd bring back Patrick Kane if I'm New York, but he wants to stay, so maybe at the right AAV, it would make sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then Lafreniere 9. There's your top 9 in New York. Jimmy Vesey on your 4th line. You need a couple of depth forwards in New York. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need Keandre Miller re-signed, and you need maybe another defenseman on top of that. You need a backup goalie. The Rangers are in an okay spot organizationally. I'd say that.
Yeah,
they're talking about Blake Wheeler now. Let's break it down.
Very many options available to him, and so hopefully he can get an opportunity to help that team.
If I refresh,
get
I might
to the next
disappear.
level. But if he had other options to make more, what is it, 800 with 300,000 in bonuses, this is a guy who certainly has to.
What are you saying, Slim?
His career in some sense.
There goes Twitter.
To play on the East Coast, less travel. Had a lot of issues going on with Winnipeg Jets and lost the captaincy. And you know what? At the end of the day, there's a reason for me that he only got a 1-year deal. This is a guy who was a captain, and I think he had over 50 points last year. So a little bit surprised.
Until his ELC is official.
A little money, but that tells me that there weren't many suitors.
When you talked about that, he did, right? Vocalize, and we heard from his agent about why.
I bet there's a lot of teams that wanted him at 800K.
Right? So that's going to minimize your choices right off the bat, and clear if this is what he wanted to go and play there for a low. I think we all felt a little surprised for the value and the number connected with the signing. But
okay, so then find me another team that wants to take on like 11 million and also trade back a star. How often are teams swapping all-stars and top 2 players on their squad? Find me the trade, and then we'll talk about it.
He's a smart player. He's a big.
Or let's just dump him for a 7th, right?
I mean, he comes in and just does his job. I think a change of scenery. Obviously, he's been there forever.
Would Kane to the Leafs be crazy?
So it's been like a.
Okay. Would Kane to the Leafs be crazy? I think it would be. Let's check it out here. Ryan, welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome aboard. Happy Canada Day. The Leafs have 4.5 million, maybe 10.2 with LTIR candidates. Would it be crazy? Would it be possible? You know what? It would be crazy, but it wouldn't be impossible. How about that? There's my answer. It wouldn't be crazy. It would be crazy, but it wouldn't be impossible. Oh man. But yeah, if Nylander gets traded, that's a different story. But I don't know if the Leafs it depends on the AAV. I'm not gonna say they don't want Patrick Kane. Canadians top free agents: Drouin, Tierney, and Newhook as an RFA. They have 23 players signed already. The Canadians don't have much to do. They only have 500K cap space right now. Jonathan Quick to the Rangers. Is that it? Oh, and then hold on, veteran playmaker. Do we? Jonathan Quick, yeah. Jonathan Quick to the Rangers. 1 year, 825K. The Rangers get another good veteran pickup right there at close to league minimum. Great deal. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate the like. Leave a like if you're enjoying the coverage and having a nice free agent frenzy so far. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for ongoing breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey, NHL 23, and much, much more. Jonathan Quick, 1 year, 825K. That's a great deal. I think that Shesterkin and Halak were a good tandem last year. Now Shesterkin gets to have Jonathan Quick as his backup. 2 players, Quick and Wheeler, great veterans who have won in the past, who, well, at different levels for sure. Quick a lot more than Wheeler. And they get to come over to the Eastern Conference on a good Rangers team who are trying to do something here. Let's see anything else going on. Mackenzie Blackwood, 2 years at 2.35. So then on top of that, at the very top here, I just want to see Blake Wheeler. He is a veteran playmaking winger who takes a lot of penalties and gives a lot back defensively, which is not good. Kind of like a 1.1 million or 800K Patrick Kane without the finishing touch. Yeah, that's about it. That's what we were seeing in his card just a few seconds ago. So let's go back to cap friendly here. I want to see the New York Rangers situation again now. Let me see this. New York Rangers, refresh. Actually, Jonathan Quick might not be there just yet. So Jonathan Quick fills in that one more spot now. Brad Richards. That fills another spot here. That just leaves Keandre Miller and maybe another couple defensemen, couple depth forwards, and you'll have still 10 million to play with. So the Rangers are in a good spot right now. You would have to think, do they bring back some of those older guys?
Okay.
Friedman.
Good. So The Rangers aren't getting younger, I'll put it that way. We've got Blake Wheeler and now Jonathan Quick going there. So interesting to see, again, names coming off the board. Shorter term. Last year we had 3 players signed to the full term, right? Vinny Trocheck, Johnny Gaudreau, and I'm forgetting one other, a 7-year deal. So only 3 players got 7-year deals last year, and this year we'll see they seem to be smaller. And it was Nazem Kadri, the other 7-year deal. Let's talk about Montreal Canadiens, though. And Eric,
why are you talking about the Canadiens? There's nothing to say about them.
And obviously, they're trying to build this young nucleus. Martin St. Louis there. What do you expect or hope to see for the Montreal Canadiens?
I just wonder if they want to add a little more up the middle. If you think about the center position, I mean, they've re-signed Mott.
Okay, thank you. Back to TSN. Anything going on here?
This year, a really, really good defensive team. Sorry, best before date is come and gone. I love Jonathan Quick. I think he's a Hall of Famer. It's wonderful that he gets to wear the Statue of Liberty on the front of his jersey.
Pittsburgh surprisingly quiet. Well, Pittsburgh, they're letting Dumoulin walk. They're letting Jerry walk. They signed Matt Nieto. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a big splash for a goalie. Or they've even been in the Erik Karlsson talks. But Pittsburgh has been quiet so far. Zucker going to free agency too. So they have holes to fill, and I think they're going to do something soon.
I don't see this as helping.
Imagine them taking a run at Tyler Bertuzzi. I'm calling it now. Let's just say it. Tyler Bertuzzi to the Penguins. I'm going to call it right now. Just obviously, I have nothing to base that on aside from myself. Matt Nieto, yes, to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, he did look good in LA.
Yes, I did mention Mackenzie Blackwood. Yes, Mackenzie Blackwood. He was already on the Sharks organization, and I heard that it was coming. Martin Biron.
We keep throwing out potential tenders out there. Craig Button throws Tristan Jarry and Jonathan Quick. Anybody else, Craig, you want to take off the list?
I like Tristan Jarry.
Yeah.
I like Tristan
Jarry's terrible.
The Senators, I don't think they can afford to have a goaltender that's had injury issues. I really like him as a goaltender.
You can't afford to have a goalie with injury issues, Craig. That's going to take a lot of goaltenders off of the list.
Name them.
There's all
Freddie Anderson, Jonas Corpusalo, Cam Talbot,
Samsonov.
Well, those aren't the guys I think.
Keep going.
Well, Samsonov is. I'd be after Samsonov.
You know who I would be? I'll go off the board. Nobody uses offer sheets anymore.
The offer sheets.
Boston Bruins.
Yes.
Offer sheet Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah.
Jeremy Swayman, I think I would offer sheet him and force the Boston Bruins.
Yeah. If I'm the Penguins and I need a goalie, I go to offer sheet Jeremy Swayman. How about that? Twitter once again down, unfortunately. 2.3. Bah, the Sharks, they have the money. They need a goalie, and they want to, and that gives them a goalie not just this season, but the year after, when Kakanen's contract will be expiring. Glad to see Ranta staying in Carolina. He's my hometown boy. Knew his grandfather. No kidding. Yana, you're still young, buddy. I love Antti Ranta. When the Hurricanes first got that tandem of Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta, I went ahead and said that's going to be a top 3 tandem in the league. I remember some people laughing at that, but they turned into a very, very good tandem. And with Freddie Anderson's injury issues, it was good that Ranta was able to carry so much of the weight. One of the better backups in the league. Gensel, Crosby, Russ, Bertuzzi, Malkin, Raquel. There you go. I'm telling you. I'm just going to manifest it. I'm not even a Penguins fan. My brother's actually a Penguins fan. I'm just manifesting it here. Bertuzzi to the Penguins. Who else can I say to the Penguins? And Jeremy Swayman, offer sheet to the Penguins. That's what I'm going to predict, but going off nothing but my own imagination. Let's go back. I'm jumping between TSN, Sportsnet, and refreshing this broken Twitter.
Next season, TA.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, they both have injury issues. Yeah, that's why Kochetkov was able to do so much.
All of us looked at each other when Boog said, "We're like, that's the guy."
And guess which UFA had the most points of any UFA available this year? Alex Killorn, Harvard guy. Right? Harvard guy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, we got some breaking news. We go back to our newsbreakers.
Breaking news?
32 thoughts. What do you guys have?
It's not quite there yet, but it is inching closer to Carolina and Freddie Anderson.
Freddie!
So it's like both the goaltenders will resign in Carolina.
Freddie, back to Carolina, it's sounding.
All right, full respect to their management group.
Wow.
full respect to the manager.
Sounding like Freddie back to Carolina. What did he say the AAV was?
Carolina and Freddie Anderson. So it looks like both the goaltenders will resign in Carolina.
Yeah, Rand's already done today. 1 times 1.5.
Oh, that's talking about Ransom.
Yeah, okay, so the Columbus Blue Jackets before...
So Freddie Anderson getting close to going back to the Carolina Hurricanes. I initially said Freddie Anderson to the Penguins. I changed it. Offer sheet Swayman. That's what I'm going to say now for the Penguins. 3.5 million AAV, they're saying. No, two years at 3.4 million is what I'm seeing. 2 years at 3.4 million on the Discord server. Just got shared. 2 years at 3.4 for Freddie Anderson. That's an incredible AAV as well. There you go. Every 37 attempts, Twitter works. There you go. There you go. Freddie Anderson, the deal is inching closer. 2 years at 3.4 sounds like the number. We'll see what happens. 2-year deal in the vicinity of 3.5. Beautiful. In the 2.5 range. So Freddie Anderson staying with the Carolina Hurricanes, it sounded like one of the biggest, if not the biggest goalie on the free agent market, sticking with the Hurricanes. They will run it back with the same tandem of Ranta and Anderson next season. Good morning, Dexter. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. Another live stream where you are here. Great to have you, buddy. So that's another goalie off the board here. Blackwood, Quick, Freddie Anderson, Hunter Shepard, Antti Ranta, all getting signed. Aiden Hill as of late. More goalies going off the board here. Teams like the Penguins are going to have to make something happen sooner rather than later. Is there a goalie card on the Google Sheets here? No, just forward and defense. But I know that Jay Fresh posted them something. What do you think happens with Swayman, RFA? I would probably, if I had to say what's most likely to happen, I would think they re-sign him to a cheap bridge and they decide what happens with him down the road. But Cam Talbot to LA as well, 1 year, $1 million. Cam Talbot replacing Jonathan Quick as that depth right there. You would think the goaltending of Korpisalo and Copley, one of them would be out, and Talbot's off to the LA Kings. Cam Talbot, 1 year, $1 million. And Freddie Anderson officially returning to Carolina, 2 years at $3.4 million per year. I like that deal a lot for the Hurricanes. Very good deal. Who do you see making who do you see making the playoffs who missed this year? Landon, buddy. Great to hear from you, Mr. Wandon. Who missed this year? I'd have to really think. I think the Capitals are a team that could definitely make it back. I like Sandin getting a full season. Edmondson there for depth defense. I think they could. I think Dylan Strom's been good. I could see the Capitals making a push. I'd have to think about. Excuse me. I'd have to think about it a bit more though. So the Hurricanes get their goaltending tandem at a total of what? 3.4 and 1.5, 4.9 million. 4.9 million for the Hurricanes to have their goaltender signed on. That's crazy. Good news for the Canes. Sabres will be in the playoffs. Oh, yes. Sabres, absolutely. I think the Sabres could be cup contenders in a few years as well. I think the Sabres will be in the playoffs next year as well. Yep. Like I said, I'd have to look at the teams and actually think about it. My brain is running with a lot of different things, not necessarily thinking about that right now. So, but here's the thing, though. Kochetkov is still signed at $2 million. So what's going to happen here? You got Freddie at 3.4. You got Kochetkov at 2. You got Ranta at 1.5. You have 3 NHL caliber goalies at $6.9 million, which is great. A great piece of business. But what are the Hurricanes going to do? Is Kochetkov happy to go back to the AHL? I don't think so. He's waiver exempt, but he's making $2 million for 4 more years. I don't think he wants to be in the AHL anymore. That's a very interesting developing situation. But they just signed Ranta and Anderson, so it can't be that they're looking to trade either of them. Is it Kochetkov that he would be moving? Or that he's happy to be just a third goalie and he's going to anticipate that one of those two guys get injured? Maybe. Let's go back to the newsbreakers here.
On this one, the Ottawa Senators they just announced that they've signed Jonas Korpisalo to a 5-year $4 million per.
Korpisalo to the Senators, 5x4. Woo! So Korpisalo leaves LA, going to the Ottawa Senators. Get excited, Senators fans. Jonas Korpisalo, your new starting goaltender.
Well, was there anything else that was just new?
Wow. Tyson Jost with the Sabres, too. 1 year, $2 million for Tyson Jost to stay in Buffalo.
Getting there, not
quite
Yeah, a bit of an overpay maybe.
There's Connor Sheary's going to Tampa Bay.
And Connor Sheary to Tampa Bay.
Okay, so a lot of goalies coming off.
Wow, a few goalies come off the board here. Unfortunately, not getting anything on Twitter, but getting from the newsbreakers here on Sportsnet.
So this is interesting because
wow, Jonas Korpisalo.
Guys was the possible DeBrincat trade. That hasn't transpired yet, but now they have their goalie, and they got this Matt Sogard, who's like 6'7",
here you go.
is giant.
Matt Sogard's there as well.
How to be a goalie. What do you guys think about the Korpisalo?
Tyson Jost, 1 year, $2 million.
I think he's a solid goaltender.
Let me just go ahead. Actually, let me hear the thoughts on Korpisalo.
For this team that, you know, for me,
Big money.
I picked them as like my wild card team this year that could push and get in the playoffs.
I can see the Senators being one of those teams too that makes a push. Senators and Sabres. I'm gonna say the Capitals missed again. Senators and Sabres make the postseason.
And I think he can be.
Look at that value on Freddie Anderson too. Look at this card.
Solid guy for years to come and grow with this group as a number one guy.
And they needed this.
He benefits from his team more than the model can tell, as Jay Fresh says. But look at this. Great numbers for Freddie.
One of the best power plays in the entire National Hockey League, and it will continue to do that with the guys that they have.
5 years, $20 million on Jonas
Where the
Korpisalo.
holes were, and some of the games they lost.
Sheary to the Lightning as well.
They lost a lot of games they should have won. The goaltending just wasn't good enough. It wasn't that they were porous defensively. I think that this will help their.
Toronto was trying to retain O'Reilly. The term and the money wasn't an issue. ROR decided to look outside of Toronto.
No, I think it's great.
Interesting.
Ottawa, right? This is just a team that's been screaming potential, right? And they're ready. And certainly that's been one piece that's been tricky.
Happy DiPietro Day for the Islanders.
Injuries, but then Sogard, who's young now.
Yeah, I think that the Capitals could do it as well. If they were to miss again, it would just because of the talent in the Eastern Conference. Canucks and Susie are getting close as well. From Dhaliwal, thank you.
So I think it's an exciting phase for Ottawa.
Stability, finally. Remember, the Senators have missed the playoffs the last 6 years. They used 7 goalies last year.
Yeah, that's true. They used 7 goalies last season, the Senators did. Luke Schenn, he deserved the raise. He deserved to get more than like league minimum, but that's a big AAV on him. It's because the Predators need to fill money. They need to get to the cap floor. They want their young players to be mentored by a guy like Luke Schenn, great veteran, leads the league in hits year in and year out. He's a good piece. It's just, and the AAV isn't a problem. I mean, the term isn't the problem either. Just that anywhere but Nashville, that would be a big overpayment. But it's worth it for the Predators. So the Senators now have as their goaltenders, Korpisalo is signed on in Ottawa. That'll be $5 million. So that will leave them with about $9.2 million to play with. With $9.2 million, they still have to sign a few forwards, including figuring out Alex DeBrincat, Shane Pinto. The defense is set, but it's still a dicey moment. Some dicey moments in Ottawa. Young decor, Cam Talbot and Murray both had horrible years behind our defense. True, eh? $4 million. Sorry, that's $4 million per year, not $5 million per year. Sorry. 5 years at $4 million, not 4 years at $5 million. 5 years at $4 million for Jonas Korpisalo. $20 million over the course of 5 years, an AAV of $4 million. Korpisalo compared to others, Korpisalo has been good. He did pretty well, I think, in with the LA Kings. Jonas Korpisalo. So Bernier, Brassois, Lyon, Jarry, Jones, Varlamov. Not many goalies are left. The big ones are going off the board. You would think that the Penguins would have made pushes for some of those guys that got signed already. So Korpisalo with the Blue Jackets had some difficult seasons. He was doing pretty well when he got moved on a terrible Blue Jackets team. He had a .913 save percentage. Goes to the Kings, and he went 7-3-1 with a .921 save percentage, 2.13 goals against average, and that's how he got that contract. I think Korpisalo is a very good goalie, a Brooklyn Bellows legend back from NHL 19. So I like that deal for them. Let's go back here. Elliot Friedman saying that it's for Kyle Burrows 3 years at 1.1 with the San Jose Sharks. Devils are set. Yeah, Devils are set. I don't think there's anything left to do really for New Jersey. Korpi is a good goalie, absolutely. Korpisalo, he had that legendary game against Toronto in the bubble. Yes, he did, Kronos. And he was pretty much everyone's goalie on NHL 19. Anyone who did an expansion draft, a Vegas mode, anyone who did a Vegas expansion draft on NHL 19, Jonas Korpisalo was their goalie. Wow. So big news there for the Ottawa Senators as they pick up Jonas Korpisalo. That's a big move for them. But they have their goalies in their system, so I'll be curious to see who backs him up. Is it going to be Matt Sogard as the backup? Twitter once again not working here. On top of that, you have what was the other move that had just happened? It was Freddie Anderson. Yeah, I think we broke that one down sufficiently. Big goalies going off the board here. Tyson Jost re-signing with Buffalo. A bit of an overpayment, in my opinion, at $2 million, but we'll see how that works out. I'm waiting for Twitter to refresh a little bit here. I'm using the Discord server as well. What right D are left? Let's check that out. Korpisalo's dad was in a poor man's was a poor man's Marchand in the Finnish league. No kidding. Radko Gudas to the Ducks. If that happens, interesting move. Is that what you're hearing, Narf? Gudas to the Ducks. That would be something. I haven't heard anything about that though. There you go. Now we're working. Eric Johnson to the Sabres. Whoa! 1 year, $3.25 million on Eric Johnson to the Buffalo Sabres. That's a huge AAV. Whew, Eric Johnson. Like, I know he's a good defenseman. He's been on a good Avalanche team. I feel like that's a lot of money. Let me see this. Eric Johnson. 34th percentile, 41st of even strength defense. Like, he's good, but he was playing third pair minutes. That's a bit, I don't know, for a guy who's going to play third pair. I don't know. The Sabres collectively paying $5.25 million to Eric Johnson and Tyson Jost. Yeah, I got to say, and Narf knows, he's as an Avalanche fan, Narf will know. That's a bit expensive. That's $5.25 million to Eric Johnson and Tyson Jost. Oh, boy. James Reimer. Hey, the Detroit Red Wings. James Reimer has signed 1 year at $1.5 million. So that officially leaves Blackwood and Kakkonen as the goaltenders in San Jose, as James Reimer is off to Detroit. And he will play with, what's his name? Ville Husso. And, hey, the Radko Gudas, you got it, Narf. 3 years at $4 million. Radko Gudas is getting paid Ryan O'Reilly money? Radko Gudas getting paid $4 million. Is this like the 2034 NHL franchise mode where defensemen just cost crazy amounts? Like, I guess Gudas has been really good in a very limited role, but that's a lot. But I guess Anaheim has money to spend again. Radko Gudas getting paid $4 million for 3 years. That's a big deal for Radko. That's a big deal for Eric Johnson too. Boy, let's refresh this here in Cap Friendly. There's a few overpayments here. EA has the right thinking on defense, I guess. Just overpaid the defense. Wow, Cam Talbot to LA. So the Detroit goaltending situation now. Hold on.
Kevin Adams has been looking for a veteran defenseman to complement the youth on that blue line. Eric Johnson goes to the Buffalo Sabres. It's 1 year, $3.25 million, David.
Okay, let's go through some other things. Radko Gudas is going to Anaheim. That's a 3x4 deal.
Where's Nedeljkovic? Is he a free agent?
James Reimer's agent, Ray Petco, announced that Reimer's going to Detroit for 1 times 1.5. I don't know what the contract looks like yet, but Tyler Brown is going to the Edmonton Oilers.
Tyler Pitlick to the Rangers.
I think we're caught up.
David's like writing notes like a maniac.
There's a lot of breaking news. We're going to get to Dan Murphy in just a matter of moments. We're going to break down alongside Ian McIntyre what's going on with the Vancouver Canucks. But there's just so many signings that we just talked about. A lot to digest there. That's why I was ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick on Sportsnet. I think, even though TSN has a lot of 5 insiders and Sportsnet only has 2, they actually, when news breaks, they actually go to their insiders. On TSN, they were talking about Ryan Reeves for like 10 minutes while Ryan O'Reilly was just waiting. News was just waiting to be broken. Morgan Geekie to the Bruins, really making $2 million 1 year, 2 years, 2 years, $4 million, AAV of $2 million for Morgan Geekie to the Boston Bruins. Since the start of 2018-19, there are 56 goalies that have played in at least 100 games. Quick's .897 save percentage is 54th out of those 56. Only Montembeault and Jones lower than that. Oilers are getting Connor Brown on a 1-year deal. Still don't know how much is going to get paid.
There's a lot of the stuff that a lot of the guys now don't want.
Radko Gudas, physical defenseman with a big shot, who always has had better underlying impacts than you might expect. But still, $4 million.
He's an absolute beast. And yeah, I love seeing them in a playoff picture. When will that be for Anaheim now?
Yeah, they're not going to be in the playoffs anytime soon, really. Kaylee, welcome to the stream.
Still play the same way and
big
really
payment for Gudas.
As you mentioned, to their back end and being that kind of player for them. But how fun was it watching him? How fun was it watching?
Crazy money for Gudas, for Johnson, for Perry, for Foligno. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Reilly's making the same amount of money.
He has so many friends in that Edmonton organization, reunited with whether it's McDavid, Draisaitl.
I wonder what the AAV on Connor Brown will be.
Well, I think it's significant for them, and there was some rumors that this might be in the works for them. But for them to come in, I think that's something that you're thinking about bringing in, whether it's depth or contributions. This guy could come in and
$4 million.
really well with a number of different players. So I think you just.
So Tyler Pitlick off to the Rangers as well. Another depth signing there for the Rangers. Radko Gudas, James Reimer, Eric Johnson. That's big money. Now Buffalo, how much money? Let's look at Buffalo's situation now. Buffalo now has $9.2 million to play with. They have their 13th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your top 6 maybe. Middlestat, Gergeson, and then maybe Jost on your third line. Okposo, fourth line. Jack Quinn is out for a long time, so don't count him in there. Peyton Krebs is here too. So the forwards are set. Defense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 actually, Owen Power. So defense is set as well. I guess the Sabres had the money for 1 year. Like all their defense is done. Like the Sabres have no defense after 23-24, aside from Matthias Samuelsson. Then Ukko-Pekka. The Sabres have a lot of work to do in the 2025 offseason. Olofsson, Middlestat, Krebs, Dahlin, Power, Luukkonen. A lot of players are going to need contracts in 2025. The Ducks are very interested in DeBrincat, according to Dave Pagnotta. Maybe the Ducks are ready to make a run. They got Carlson, they got Zegras, they got McTavish, they got Drysdale. The drafting is over. Let's bring in Radko Gudas and Alex DeBrincat. That would be something. O'Reilly must have some sort of connection to the Predators. There must be some sort of connection. But even then, why could they not? If Ryan O'Reilly says, "Hey, listen, I really want to come to Nashville," could they not give him $5.5 million instead of maybe the 6 or 6.5 that a team in free agency would have given him? Morgan Geekie 2x2 to the Bruins. Brown is getting paid $4 million, 1 year, $4 million to Connor Brown. Edmonton now has only $2.9 million left, and they have a lot of holes to fill. Yikes! Let's take a look at the Edmonton Oilers now. The Oilers are in a very bad situation, I have to say. I beat you to it, Owen. 1 year, $4 million for Connor Brown. Let's go look at Edmonton. I gotta say, this is not a good time for the Bruins. That leaves for the Oilers. They have about $2.9 million left to play with. Ryan McLeod is still an RFA. Evan Bouchard is still an RFA. And aside from that, the holes that you have to fill, let's say, looking at the forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Connor Brown 6, Fogel, Janmark, Holloway, whatever's line 3, Ryan Peterson 4. So maybe you need a depth signing. So that's not the big issue. Most of the team is set. Maybe a depth signing in there. But $4 million, that's tough. With Evan Bouchard still here, you have Gudas getting $4 million. You have Eric Johnson getting $3.25 million. Evan Bouchard's going to want big money. Evan Bouchard is worth the big money, and he's going to want to get it. Let's look at Evan Bouchard for a second. Evan Bouchard has had a great offensive impact. His defensive impact, not so much, but 98th percentile of even strength offense, 89th percentile in the entire league of wins above replacement, 97th on the power play, great goals and primary assists per 60. He has been an incredible piece for the Edmonton Oilers. And now you have to think that he's going to be wanting, even if it's a bridge deal, at least $4 million, I would think, on a bridge deal. JVR, yes, he signed 1 year, $1 million with the Boston Bruins, JVR. Wow. Owen is in shambles right now. Darnell Nurse at 9.25 is really hurting. Cody Ceci at 3.25 is hurting. Brett Kulak at 2.75 is hurting. Aside from that, there's some good value deals. Like Nugent Hopkins is on a value deal. Hyman is on a value deal. Draisaitl is on a crazy value deal. We'll see what happens in a couple of years from now. Yeah, Morgan Geekie, 2 years, $2 million to the Bruins. But the Oilers are in a tough spot. You would think, even if it's a 1 or 2 year bridge, that Bouchard is wanting like $4 million. So they need to free up another million, like $1.5 million at the very least, to get another depth signing as well on top of that. 1 year, not even $4 million, not even 4. 4.025. 4.025 to Connor Brown. Is he here yet? No, he's not in here yet. But I'm confused. Why is his cap hit is 775K? Oh, hold on now. Darren Dreger reported $4 million, but hold on now. Maybe it's not a $4 million cap hit though. It looks like a cap hit of 775K. Ah, Owen, come back from the shambles, buddy. Rise from the ashes. Come back. Come back here.
Morgan Geekie on a 2-year deal at $2 million. Geekie was not extended his qualifying offer by Seattle yesterday, so that threw him onto the UFA market, and we're still expecting a deal with Milan Lucic, the reunion there in Boston. So they're shopping in the value add.
I'm just to add on that. I'm just
Twitter's not working.
That Milan Lucic deal has been signed.
Oh,
with the Boston Bruins.
Lucic, he's back to Boston. That's official now.
Bob McKenzie, we talked about who's going into.
There you go.
We talked about one of the guys who came out. That's Matt Duchene.
Yeah, still contemplating his offers, and he's got lots of them. I mean, he's only recently been an unrestricted free agent.
Riley
Lots
Nash.
of people interested in him. He's had
To
a
New
couple
York.
of productive seasons in Nashville. And it's fascinating to me as he bowls through many offers that he's got on the table, what Barry Trotz is doing in Nashville. So you look at the guys going out, trades Ryan Johansson to the Colorado Avalanche. Basically.
All right, don't kill Kenny yet.
For him. Brings in Luke Shen to a 3-year deal.
Connor Brown, 775K. The Oilers can still sign Evan Bouchard.
Barry Trotz wants to work with a clean canvas in terms of as a new general manager and what's he going to put a premium on. He's going to put a premium on character. Shen's a character guy. Ryan O'Reilly's a character guy. The implication might be that if you're reading between the lines, that Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene, as good as they are not what Barry Trotz wants. Because when you look at Nashville's offensive depth, they don't have a lot of it right now, quite frankly. At least not established NHL. They've got some kids coming that are going to be real good. But it's interesting, the moving in and out for Barry Trotz in Nashville.
We talked about Nathan Bastian and Michael McLeod in New Jersey not getting qualifying offers yesterday.
All right, so Lucic to the Bruins also looks official. Geeky at 2 years at $2 million. Lucic is back to Boston, back to being with his good buddies, Brad Marchand, all those other pests over there. Connor Brown at 775K is much more digestible for the Edmonton Oilers. Plus, I'm sure he'll get a bigger contract after this next year, after he gets to play a season on Connor McDavid's wing, if that's where he's going to be, his good old Erie Otters buddy. Let's keep hitting retry.
Is he the top 6 guy they needed? I don't see him as a full-time top 6.
JVR also 1 year, $1 million. So JVR 1 year, $1 million. Geeky 2 years, $2 million. Lucic, I would assume, is around that same number. The Bruins getting some depth pickups using that money. He's signing his deal right there, 1 year. We don't know how much it's for yet. But the Bruins, I like what the Bruins are doing here. Connor Clifton to the Sabres. Look at that. Yeah, I did see Joel Edmondson traded from the Canadiens to the Capitals for a 3rd and a 7th at 50% retained. Brings Connor Clifton to the Sabres, says Green Cadola. Best signing so far. Let me answer that question. Best signing so far. I love the Freddie Anderson AAV, and I love the Antti Ranta AAV for the Hurricanes. Ryan O'Reilly is an incredible value deal. I think that has to be number 1 for the Predators. 4 years at 4.5. Blake Wheeler, good value as well, 800K. So let's see what the Bruins are up to here. So the Bruins get to free up money from Taylor Hall. And they still have, right now they have 10.6 to play with. Does that include Geeky and JVR? Yes, it does. So they still have to sign like 4 more forwards. And they still have to figure out Jeremy Swayman. But I like that they're, instead of going after the big guys like Bertuzzi and Orlov, it seems like they're using that money elsewhere. They have 10 million. Let's say 1 million goes to Lucic. That's 9 million. Let's say Swayman is 5 million. That's 5. You got to sign 3 more depth forwards with 5 million. It's doable. The Bruins are in a good enough spot. 3 years at 3.33 for Clifton. Is that it? Wow. So is that the deal? So they signed Eric Johnson for 3.25, and they signed Connor Clifton for 3.33. Connor Clifton, really? So Connor Clifton, let's see. He's been okay. Yeah, he's been good with the Bruins. He was on a 1-by-1 deal. Now he gets to get paid 3.33 for 3 years, getting $10 million essentially. I don't know. Is that an overpay for the Sabres?
I think you're thinking of this team and who's going to be reliable for you on that back end now with some changes to that lineup. And Susie, the guy that can do that. I think he's
Connor Clifton, yeah, 3 years at 3.33.
Good movement, can make good reads with the puck, to move it up, to skate it up if he needs to. So I think here's a guy.
Sorry, I went to the Sabres. So Buffalo now, he's 28. That's now the only deal. They now have only 2 defensemen signed beyond this year. But you would think I don't know if I like this long term though, because if Dahlin is going to cost you, let's say Dahlin costs you $9 million, and Power, he signs a nice little bridge. He signs for, let's say, $3 million. Let's say 9 plus 3 is 12, plus another 7, plus all that. We're about $20 million for your top 4. Is that crazy? I suppose it's not crazy, but it's, I don't know, $20 million for your top 4 when you're also spending a lot of money. Still Jeff Skinner contract, still Tage Thompson, still Dylan Cousins, still Alex Tuck. I don't know. 3.33 for Clifton. You're going to have to really hope that he goes from being in a depth-ish role with the Bruins to being a top 4 guy. Because it's basically $10 million for 3 years. That's why. Like, what kind of ice time was Connor Clifton getting? Goaltending to Tampa? Yeah, good guy. So Connor Clifton, he was averaging 17.51 per night, more than I thought. At times, not as much as a depth guy. He was at times playing those top 4 minutes. So you know what? It's not the worst contract. It's a bit more than I like for the Sabres. I don't like that it could put them in a tough situation moving forward. But as of today, what is his value? It's not crazy far off. No, it's not superstition. It's just here's $10 million for 3 years, and that's how the numbers divide. But that's it. Same thing for this. It wasn't a necessity. The term hurts it a little bit. The Sabres didn't need to do this. The Sabres had Dahlin, Samuelson, Johnson, Lyubushkin, Jokiharju, and Power. Now with Clifton in the mix, now what's going on? Your top 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Power. You're going to have someone making $2.5 million or more, or $1.8 million or more as a healthy scratch. You got to trade somebody out. This wasn't a necessary move for the Sabres. It's not that I don't like Clifton's money. I don't think it's a good fit. I'm not sure if I like that now or even long-term for Buffalo. I don't know. I'm not sold on that. That's an odd move in my opinion.
I just want to throw a little bit of oil in the water here. Like for me, like when we start talking Confer feuds, like he had his most productive offensive season ever last year in Colorado.
Yeah, you got to choose between somebody, or Clifton or Eric Johnson, but why both? Stars re-signed Joel Hanley, 2 years at $787.5K. Former Montreal Canadian Joel Hanley. I distinctly remember being at a Canadiens game in Chicago in 2017, I believe. I think it was Joel Hanley's NHL debut. Come on. Johnson will not be playing with that defense. Someone's being traded. It has to be. Of course, Twitter, yeah. Of course, Owen.
So now everybody's following the market, right? The market goes to Glutis at 4.
Let me check the Discord. Sometimes Discord has it for me. Thank you to all the trade breakers over on Discord, all the insiders in the Discord server. If you haven't joined the Discord server already, be sure to do that. Link in the description. Breaking news and discussion of all sports, always ongoing. We're about 400 members in the server. It's a really fun time.
Jumped up on them this season. Like they needed to work on a defense for a while now, and like they.
I gotta just trust cap friendly, I guess.
Their top forwards and stuff like that, and to neglect the guys that wiggle backwards.
No new deals yet.
And I mean, I look at it and again. You got Quinn Hughes, who's a star.
Let me move my box out of the way, actually.
Because of the success they had with a veteran to help him.
There you go.
I agree with you, Susie. I mean, I don't. We've seen they were joking about Mayfield possibly being already signed with the Islanders, but a player like that, a right shot D, that would help them. But this.
Are we in a bit of a lull now? Like I'm sure big things will be happening over the next few hours. Hold on, I got to. Corey's in the Discord server, resident Sabres fan.
Playoffs, I think they've only been in once since 2015. Like, you feel maybe they're a little further than what they believe they are.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm really I'm perplexed by this team. Like, they tease me to go on these mini runs.
You got to get out of this. You know, you do all these.
Belzile to the Rangers, really? Alex Belzile?
And then you catch your wind. Like, I mean,
he left Montreal. Another depth signing for the Rangers. How about that? Yeah, he's a Canadiens guy. He was a depth guy in the Canadiens. He was a homegrown Canadiens player who just made his NHL debut at like the age of 30. Yeah, he's 31. He just made his NHL debut in 2020. This year, he played 31 games. He had 14 points with the Canadiens. He did very well in Laval as well. He's very limited NHL experience, but he was a nice piece. He's from Rivière-du-Loup in Quebec. Local guy. Of course, the French Canadians always love the local guys. So that's going to be sad for them. Alex Belzile off to the New York Rangers. Yeah, he's AHL caliber, fringe NHLer. But that's a lot of depth pickups for the Rangers today. That's exactly what they got to be doing. That's exactly what they got to do. Alex Belzile is here. Tyler Pitlick is here. Blake Wheeler is here. Jonathan Quick is here. Good day for the Rangers. Good day for the Rangers. Joel Hanley with that re-signing there. Yep. Let's go back to TSN. Commercial here on Sportsnet.
Put himself on a team.
They're talking Matt Duchene.
He has an opportunity to try and win a championship, or does he want to cash in and maybe go to a team that isn't looking to win a championship but cash in more financially? So we'll see where the chips land for Matt Duchene, but he can go one of two ways right now. And if I were him, I would be looking to try for that.
What's this tweet? Dabrowski just sent me a tweet here.
In that category and change the
What's this from Dave Pagnotta, the fourth period? If it would load, Dabrowski, you gotta send me a screenshot.
Where the chips land. James, back to you.
No, can't see it.
All right, thank you, guys. Frenzy continues, and one of the early signings we got started off our day was Ryan Reeves joining the
Can't
Toronto
see it
Maple
still.
Leafs.
They're still talking about Ryan Reeves on TSN. I'd rather watch commercials on Sportsnet. Ridiculous. Gustav Nyquist going to the Nashville Predators, 2 years at $3.185 million. I need the chat to break news for me with Twitter being down. Ridiculous. Rangers looking good, yeah. All right, so big news for the Predators as they get another piece to try and, I don't know, are they trying to compete? Are they trying to be in that tweener? Are they trying to get a guy to help get more guys to help their young guys grow? I don't know. The Predators are a very interesting team right now. Gustav Nyquist joins them to be a middle six winger, you would think. If he's healthy, he's good. Yeah, he is. The Preds have had the best day, but Rangers do what Rangers have always done, signing 30-year-olds. Hope it works out for them. Thank you, Narf. Let's go ahead and look at Gustav Nyquist here. Oh, these are defense cards. Excuse me. Alex Lyon going to the Wings. A third goalie now in Detroit. The Red Wings now have Husso, Lyon, and Reimer. A third goalie to the Detroit Red Wings. Let's go ahead and look up Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist, he's been injured a lot. His numbers are definitely being hurt by the injury bug. His primary assists per 60 are still being maintained, though. He's still in that top 20 or so percentile. So Gustav Nyquist off to the Nashville Predators. Alex Lyon off to the Detroit Red Wings, two most recent signings. Nyquist, he's coming off of a 51 game season if you put Columbus and Minnesota together. Played a full season the year before in 22-23. Missed all of 2021 though, so that's the problem. In his career, always usually good for some 40 points or so. I think Nyquist is a very good player when he's healthy. So that's a nice pickup for the Predators. They have their money to spend. They get him signed on. Actually, cap it, $3.185 million for 2 years. And Belzile signed a 2-year deal as well with the Rangers. Salut la visite. Nyquist. So what's up with the Predators now? With their $11.5 million that they have spent on players who aren't on their roster. They still have close to $14 million, and they still have a few more positions to fill. But Gustav Nyquist immediately becomes their second highest paid forward. There you go. I like it for the Predators. I love the defense in Nashville as well. McDonough, Yossi, Barry. The Predators could do something. Who knows? They could do something. A Ned replacement. But now they have 3 goalies. Yeah, 3 goalies in Detroit. Patrick Kane, who had a hip resurfacing surgery a month ago and recovering time is another 3 to 5 months, is on the radar of a few contenders, including the Dallas Stars. Interesting. According to Dave Pagnotta, I could see Patrick Kane being a fit with Dallas. Ian Cole, 1 year, $1.9 million with the Vancouver Canucks. 1 year, $1.9 million for Ian Cole joining the Vancouver Canucks. They're talking over in Edmonton on Sportsnet. So Vancouver gets a little depth guy. The Stars are interested in Patty Kane, buddy. The Stars are interested in Patty Kane. He's been out for a little bit. He still has his hip surgery, but I think once he's back from surgery, he would be a great fit in Dallas. I wonder what kind of AAV he'd be looking for as well. I think he still has a lot of hockey left to be played. Just so frustrating. Come on, Twitter. Yeah, with what money though, eh? What's up in Dallas? Let's look. Could Dallas do sign Patrick Kane? Where's Dallas? Where am I looking? Dallas Central. Dallas. They have $4.357 million. Just signed Dadonov. Yeah, if they're inquiring, they have a plan in place for sure of someone to move out, perhaps. But the money is not there. 1 year at $3 million. Oh, it's Ian Cole. 1 year at $3 million. Excuse me. And Teddy Bluger also signing. Canucks also signing Teddy Bluger 1 year, 1.9. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if it's a fit, but I think he could do money wise. But I think he's a fit personnel wise. I think he'd do very well in Dallas, but it may not be a fit money wise for Patrick Kane. That's a scary surgery. We'll see what he does when he comes back from it. Ian Cole, 1 year, $3 million in Vancouver. The defense continued to get paid. The Milan Lucic AAV officially comes in at $1 million. 1 year, $1 million for Milan Lucic in Boston. Another good depth veteran value signing for Boston with that money that they have. Cap space with LTR candidates. The Canucks may have about $9 million left to play with. Big signing there as Ian Cole becomes a top 4 defenseman getting paid $3 million. The defense are getting paid. The depth defenseman, the third pair guys are getting top 4 money today. Let's go back to the defense cards. Oh, Justin Hall signing 3 years at $3.4 million. Oh, goodness. Come on. Where's the breaking news on the TV? They're still just talking Gene Principe talking in Edmonton with a big smile on his face.
A lot of you are having at home, so if you can't get the details there, we'll try to give you as many as we can.
Ian Cole, this is how his card looks. And they're going to a commercial. Ridiculous. Where's the breaking news? And Justin Hall, that's a big contract. 3 years at $3.4 million. He's not been great with Toronto, but he wants to get out of there, and they want him gone, I think. Great.
Ryan Reeves, a 13-year NHL vet, about to be a 16-year NHL vet, because signs a 3-year deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
This guy wants to look up Budis. I didn't want to look up Budis. That's the problem with the shared Google Doc. Edmonton, they've signed, yeah.
I really enjoyed my time.
I've been talking to Ryan Reeves on Sportsnet now. You can't win. It's the Ryan Reeves show on both Sportsnet and the Toronto Sports Network. Edmonton signed Connor Brown, and that's it. It's, I believe, today, huh? Connor Brown, 1 year contract. Yeah, so Teddy Bluger and Ian Cole both off the Vancouver Canucks. 1 year at 1.9 for Bluger, 1 year at $3 million for Ian Cole. Justin Hall is going to the Red Wings, 3 years at $3.4 million. Dan, welcome, buddy. For the Capitals, what would you have missed? Joel Edmondson traded to the Capitals from the Montreal Canadiens for a 3rd and a 7th at 50% retained. Nothing else for the Capitals, I don't believe. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Colin Miller traded to the Devils, exactly as I just thought. Exactly as I thought. I thought Colin Miller would be a guy to move out. And he'd be a guy to wait. Hold on. Oh, Mason, he wants Mason Martin's card. So I thought if Dallas is going to make a move for a guy like Patrick Kane, they have to move out some money. And I thought maybe a guy like Colin Miller, and he's leaving. Landon, is Detroit doing something as Colin Miller is out? His contract is traded to the Devils. He and his contract are traded to the Devils for a 5th round pick. Who do you want info on, Dexter? Oh, Colin Miller. Let's check it out. Colin Miller traded to the New Jersey Devils. Colin Miller playing second pair minutes, very good even strength defense. He has played larger minutes than I think that he had been used to. He has value, and at 1.8 million, I like that AAV for a team like New Jersey. But it seems like Dallas needed to free up some money. Now the thing is, the Stars get away from the 1.8 million of Colin Miller, but who's playing defense here in Dallas? Who's playing defense here in Dallas? Heiskanen, Lindell, Suter, Hakanpää, Lundqvist, Harley. You know what? It works. It works. Colin Miller out. That now gives the Stars 4.356 7 plus 1.8. That's $6.15 million. Does Patrick Kane want to sign for something in the $6 million range? I don't know. The Stars seem to be doing something. Something's cooking in Dallas. Justin Hall, crazy contract. Rourke Chartier also going to the Senators. And Tristan Nielsen to Vancouver, signing his ELC. But Justin Hall getting $3.4 million for 3 years. You got to think that's a bit of a crazy contract. Make out. So I'm just reading the comments as I'm scrolling here. So Justin Hall to Detroit. They had the money, I suppose.
25 signings.
21 million still available in Dallas, so I guess that's why. But the Leafs are happy to be rid of him, I think.
Austin Matthews, of course, in Toronto is one of the big issues for the Leafs. We'll get into that more and what his contract might.
Let's go back to the comments here. I missed a few of them here. So info on Colin Miller, his even strength defense has been high in the JFresh model. It is a respectable percentile. If I bring up his numbers on Hockey Reference, just want to check this out. He has been eating decent numbers. He averaged, this past season, he was playing 21 minutes per night, 20:57 with no, sorry, that was just one game. No, what am I saying? He was averaging 16:46 per night in Dallas, but at times he was playing upwards of 20 minutes. But he was averaging 16 and a half minutes with Dallas this last year. With Buffalo, he was playing 18, 19 minutes per night. So he can be in a top 6 role, a top 4 role, but he's probably better suited to the top 6 in New Jersey. Yeah, decent on defense at best, but amazing one-timer and slap shot. There you go. Has Tommy Fitzgerald made any bad moves yet this offseason? You think, oh no, my computer's lagging. Let me think. Tom Fitzgerald, has he made any bad moves? No, the AAV on Bratt is good. The AAV on Meyer is good. No, Tommy Fitzgerald, perfect offseason so far. So far, so good. Orlov to the Canes, is that it? Dmitry Orlov to the Carolina Hurricanes, breaking news there. Oh my goodness. Dmitry Orlov signing with the rich get richer in Carolina. Wow, that's crazy. Teddy Bluger's card, I'll pull that up for you. The rich get richer in Carolina, and no one cares to break news on either hockey channel, I guess. Teddy Bluger's card. Here you go. That's crazy. Here's Teddy Bluger's card. Great two-way ability. He's able to be a good playmaker as well, as we see. His offensive impact really rose over the last year. Yeah.
2 years at an annual average value of 7.75.
Ooh, 7.75 for Orlov.
7.75.
Wow.
There's a $3 million signing bonus in this first year. So that one is done.
You say 2 times 7.75?
7.75 for Orlov.
I don't know what we've talked about. Teddy Bluger's going to Vancouver, and Ian Cole's going to Vancouver.
Making me think of Carl Alsner, Nerf.
So we got some things happening here. Ian Cole, Vancouver.
Teddy Bluger.
And the highlighter's running out of highlight.
And I'm not surprised. Orlov only 2 years. I thought he was going to get.
Landon, remind me about this later. We'll do that after Orlov.
This is a play out for the players as well, right? Because if the cap's $95 million in 3 years, and I'm not sure it's going to be, if it is $95 million, suddenly Orlov goes, well, there's 100 guys making $7 million. I should be making 10.
Yeah, but then you're hedging up against your age, right? So in 3 years, you know what I mean? Like he's 31.
Betting on himself, like Freddie Van Vliet. It worked out for Fred Van Vliet.
Yeah. We'll be sitting here in 2 years going.
So Orlov, 2 years, $15.5 million, 7.75 per year. Is he worth that money? I guess so. Like that's a big payment though. He was making 5.1. I would have thought like 6.75, but 7.75. Wow. For Dmitry Orlov, he does what he does very well. He is extremely valuable, but the rich get richer in Carolina. It is a stacked defensive core in Carolina now. Let's go and check out the Hurricanes. Let me just think, and how much money is dedicated to defense as well. That's why they can feel okay about their goaltending, I guess. But they have 3 NHL caliber goalies as well. The Hurricanes making a push here. Where are the Hurricanes? In the Metropolitan with the Devils loading up, the Rangers loading up. The Hurricanes now use 7.75 of 13.9. So 13.923 minus 7.75. That leaves them with 6.137 million, about 6.1 million to play with. And they have Slavin, Burns, Shea, Pesci, and Orlov as 5 of their top 6. So who's playing third pair out of those 5 guys? Oh my goodness. 3 NHL caliber goaltenders as well. A forward core that has been that has demonstrated great ability. Jordan Staal, getting to pay less on Jordan Staal helps out a lot. But wow. And the ELCs for Seth Jarvis helps out as well. But that is crazy. Nachas after this season is going to want to get paid. Aho's going to want to get paid. Teravainen, I would probably see him leaving after this next year. But wow. Dmitry Orlov, the rich get richer in Carolina. The greatest blue line in the league gets even better. Orlov, 2 years at 7.75 to the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and do this. Wow. Mike Riley to the Panthers, 1 year at $1 million after he got bought out by the Bruins. Go back here. Not too crazy on the contract for Orlov. He can be your number 2 guy, playing an important role. But yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I think he does what he does very well, but that's been in a top 4 role. Is he going to be able to continue what he's doing with that much money? You would think that he would, but it's still a big payment. Mike Riley, 1 year at $1 million. Good depth pickup for the Panthers, who needed help on defense a little bit. Yes, Marchment. Thank you, Landon. Thank you for reminding me. Mason Marchment. Just curious about his card. I'll pull that up for you. The Canes are doing very well, I would say. They got their starting goalies. They have 3 NHL goalies for under $7 million, and then they just signed Orlov for more than all 3 of those combined. Mason Marchment. Let's check this out here for Landon, who was curious. 62nd percentile. Interesting. So high even strength offense and defense. Low goals per 60. Low finishing. But draws penalties, has primary assists. He had a very good season, as you can see. Big exponential rise most recently. But that was just what... this is not the most recent card. When I look at Jay Fresh's, it's often 1 or 2 percentiles off because he has the most recent ones. I think because the Patreon has expired, it's a bit of an older version, maybe a few months ago. But it's not off. It's not very far off from what reality is. This is what he was doing as of the most recent update of that card. Flyers get Paling at 1 year, $1.4 million. Ryan Paling off to the Philadelphia Flyers, leaving the Penguins and going to the Flyers. 1 year at 1.4. Dude can't stay on his feet.
Like the way they're getting a little bit more difficult to play with. They probably still
Twitter's still not working. This is so frustrating.
Turn his season around, but maybe not a guy like Miles Wood, or even a Stastny. Now, the one thing I would say with Stastny is because obviously he's a little...
Ryan Paling, former first-round pick of the Canadians, hasn't really become much, unfortunately. Depth guy, 4th liner, off to Philly. Hopefully, they have like no centerman in Philly, so maybe he can get some decent minutes with the Flyers. Ryan Paling off to Philadelphia.
Bukestad's my guy there still. I like the familiarity. I like that he's a big body.
Went from a bubble team to their arch rivals, who are a terrible rebuilding team. Tough career for Ryan Paling. Paling on a bad Canadians team, goes to a bubble team in the Penguins, and then he now signs for their arch rivals, who are a terrible and rebuilding team. How are we getting news? I don't know who's getting the news. I don't know how some of these people are getting their news, but great. However you get it, it's pretty much just cap friendly. But even cap friendly is not exactly breaking news. It's probably the closest thing we get though. Mike Riley, 1 year, $1 million to the Florida Panthers. I like that deal for the Panthers. I like their defense as they add Riley and now Oliver Ekman-Larsson as well. Troy Stecher back to the Coyotes, 1 year deal for him. So the Panthers on their blue line now, Ekblad, Montour, Forsling, Ekman-Larsson. Not a bad top 4. Ekman-Larsson, I prefer him in a 5-6 role, but he could do it. He is still good. I think Ekman-Larsson in the top 4 in Florida is going to be a nice little rejuvenation for him this season. Riley and Mahura on the third pair. Hiccup. I think that's fine. I like those 2 pickups. The Panthers had to get a couple defensemen today, and they went out and did exactly that. Hats off to the Panthers, and they still have $6 million to play with. And my Twitter hasn't re-signed for a while. It hasn't refreshed in a while. Thoughts on the Reeves signing? I don't mind it, but I don't think it's really what the... and by the way, top players available on Sportsnet. They just showed a quick little look. Duchene, Tarasenko, Klingberg, Kane, Jarry, Dumba, and Domi. Some of the top players who are still... And Bertuzzi, some of the top players who are still out there. Cap Friendly says Riley to the Ducks. No, to the Panthers. Yeah. So what I was trying to say, Ryan Reeves, they had Matt Martin. It didn't really work out. He was okay. They had Wayne Simmons. It definitely didn't work out. Now they go for Ryan Reeves. Paying him $1.3 million is not horrible. 3 years might be a bit hard, but that's what you get for the term. You pay a bit less, and you have to give a bit longer on the term. It's not what the Maple Leafs needed, though. It's not he's great. He does what he does extremely well. He's probably the best enforcer, one of the last enforcers in the league who's still able to contribute to the game and not just be out there looking to headhunt. But I don't think it really fit what the Maple Leafs were doing. Reeves, good sign. Leafs need character. Yeah, like how much are you going to pay for character? 1.3 for 3 years. Again, it's not horrible, but they have limited money, and I probably would have seen it being used elsewhere, especially with some of the deals that some players are going on. I don't hate it for Toronto. It's just, it didn't work with Martin. It didn't work with Simmons. Now you're trying it with Reeves. You know, the Leafs need character, yeah, but did that character really help much with Matt Martin? Did that character really help much with Wayne Simmons? Will it help with Ryan Reeves? Maybe, but jury's still out. Craig Smith, 1 year, $1 million to the Dallas Stars. There's that one move for Dallas. I guess they're not going after Patty Kane, though. 1 year, $1 million. Ryan Poehling, 1 year at 1.4 to the Flyers. Getting paid probably a bit more than he's worth at the moment, but the Flyers, they have money to spend. Well, most recently he didn't play, but Simmons played when he had first gotten signed. The Flyers still have about $9 million to play with, up to 15.2 with LTIR candidates, and they still have a lot of money to a lot of lineup spots to figure out as well. Yeah, they have a lot to figure out here in Philly still. So some big names still on the board, but most of the big names I'd say have gone. Eric Brandstrom signed the same as Chychrun. No. Eric Brandstrom is signed too. Let me show you this. Eric Brandstrom signed 1 year, $2 million with the Senators. Chychrun is signed for 4.6 for 2 more years. Yeah, as a Stars fan, Landon says he doesn't understand the Craig Smith pickup. Let's look at this one for all you Dallas fans out there. Craig Smith. Craig Smith. Let's see it. Gammon. 70. Oh my goodness. He has been doing what he does very well. In a fourth line role, he has great above average numbers for offense, defense, goals, and primary assists. 74th percentile. You know what, Landon? Get excited here. For 1.1 for 1 year, $1 million. I'll take that. To put a guy like this and these small sample size numbers on my fourth line for $1 million, I'll do that. No problem with me. Nice little deal there for Craig Smith and the Dallas Stars.
All sorts of special festivities for Canada Day. If you tune into that right after Hockey Central signing season. One gentleman we don't really expect to get signed today is the future Hall of Famer Patrick Kane, coming off hip surgery. 34 years of age.
Max Pacioretty to the Washington Capitals, 1 year, $2 million. Whoa. Max Pacioretty off to the Washington Capitals. How about that? Woo! Max Pacioretty. Yeah. Woo! He only played 5 games with the Hurricanes. He scored 3 goals in those 5 games. With Vegas, he was above point per game, about point per game in 2020-21 and 2021-22. He was great with Vegas. Getting out of Montreal helped him out. The question is he healthy? If he's healthy, that is an incredible pickup, and it's a prove it to me type of deal at 1 year, $2 million. Absolutely. He still has a lot to show, a lot to prove himself, to say, not prove himself, this is who I am as a player, but prove myself and say, listen, you can trust my health. He has a lot that he has to prove. Wow. He's been great the last few years, a very valuable forward ever since 2019 and probably way further back. 91st percentile of even strength offense, 95th percentile of the entire league. Goals per 60, 99th percentile. Incredible. One of the best finishers in the NHL as well. Bunting might sign in Carolina, says Kaylee. We'll wait to get some confirmation on that. But Max Pacioretty to the Washington Capitals, 1 year, $2 million, plus another $2 million potentially in bonuses. Wow. That is really something for the Capitals. That is a smart pickup. Not much risk associated to it either. $2 million, not the end of the world. Could be up to $4 million with bonuses. So there you go. Ovi, Backstrom, Kuznetsov, Oshie, Mantha, Wilson. There's your top 6. Give me a third line of Dylan Strome, Sonny Milano, and Max Pacioretty. Yes, please. Wow. I love that for the Capitals. I love how they got Rasmus Sandin last season. I think that the Capitals are in a very good spot. As I said, I could see them making the postseason, and you never know. With that addition, that might be the one thing that gets them back next year. Carson Soucy to the Vancouver Canucks as well, 3 years at $3.25 million. We said Craig Smith to Dallas, yes. Can you really trust 2 injuries to the same Achilles? Maybe not, but that's why it's not a huge risk, only 1 year. How can anyone think he'll remotely be durable or the same player? Well, here's the thing. He came back from injuries in the past, and he's shown good numbers. It's just that this is the first time he'll be coming back from 2 injuries to the same Achilles. When he came back from that first injury, he scored 3 goals in 5 games before getting injured again. So I don't think his quality of play is down. It's just that when he comes back, he is a huge risk to get injured again. I don't think it's that he's not the same player. It's that he just can't stay healthy. I think that's the problem. That's what I think about Max Pacioretty. Some players get major surgeries, and it turns them to not be able to play that type of game that they played anymore. But I think Max Pacioretty, it's just, the skating might not be there, but he's one of the best shooters in the league. Radek Faksa should be traded now. Great player, but not worth the money. Maybe Landon. Maybe that's how they bring in Patty Kane. You never know. Wow. I really wish Twitter worked on today of all days. Here we go.
Teddy Bluger 1 year, 1.9.
Carson Soucy, Teddy Bluger, Ian Cole.
Soucy just happened.
One more real quick there. Ryan Poehling goes to the Philadelphia Flyers. That is a 1 year, 1.
That's what I'm saying, SB.
Right.
Pacioretty is one of the best shooters in the NHL. So give him a role where he doesn't need to skate much or get back on defense. He could still be a lethal guy. He's in the 99th percentile of goals per 60 in the last few years. He doesn't need to be a guy who's involved in the play necessarily. If you're just going to play him as a pure shooter, play him on the 3rd, 4th line in your first power play unit, maybe. I don't know. I think he can still do it. We'll see, though, after he comes back from this injury. This will be the first time he comes back from 2 of these injuries, right? So we'll see what happens.
They don't offer Ethan Bear, Travis Dermott contracts. So you say, what the heck are they going to do on the blue line? Carson Soucy, as well as Ian Cole. What do you guys think of this?
That's a lot of money to Soucy and Cole, though. That's like $6.5 million for the both of them.
What do they need to get? What do they need to go find? After the moves that you just said in a that kind of third hole center position too, and a guy like Teddy Bluger didn't play much during the run, but still with the Vegas Golden Knights bringing that over as well. But
I think he's a guy who can play.
He can, and he has. He kill penalties. He plays.
Philippe Mayette, the Eric Johnson deal also official now. We see.
Always kind of seemingly in the right position, but they go and stock up with some veteran guys, some size, some for the most part simplistic physicality, just puck transporters.
Go back here. Green Cadolas. We could probably start talking about some other things as the signings are calming down a little bit so far. I love the Canucks signings so far, says VVS. I like the players. It's just that, Hughes, actually Sportsnet just showed it. The new defensive pairs now in Vancouver would be Hughes, Hronek, Soucy Myers, Rathbone, Cole, and you still have Juleson and even Tucker Pullman on LTIR. That's not horrible. But I do think that's a lot of money when you think about how much money Tyler Myers is getting paid, how much money you're paying now to Soucy and Cole. That's a lot of money on the blue line. Plus, even you're paying Oliver Ekman-Larsson to not be there. It's costly. I would have liked the value deals like the Mike Riley deal. I would have liked that for Vancouver as well. Yeah, but Green Cadola asking, hey, Data, are you happy with the Reinbacher pick? Who would you have taken at 5? Honestly, I hadn't done a ton of research about this draft. I knew about Reinbacher, but if I had to just say who would I take at 5, I probably would have taken Michkov, and my second choice probably would have been Ryan Leonard, and I think my third choice would have been David Reinbacher. But now that I learn more about him, now that I look more into it, now that I think about it more deeply, I'm very content with Reinbacher. I think he's going to be the future top pair right D for the Canadians for years and years to come. So will it hurt to not have Michkov if he becomes a star doing all kinds of crazy things? Absolutely. But if the Canadians were to go and win a Stanley Cup with Reinbacher being the pillar on defense, well, then, we'll call it a wash or even better than that. So it's not the end of the world. It's not necessarily who I would have taken, but I don't think it was a bad choice either. I don't think it was a bad choice. Ryan commenting here, surprised that Ryan O'Reilly wanted out of Toronto, thought he performed well and enjoyed his time. Plus, at only that AAV, you would have thought, eh? The career simulation. No, he did well. He did well. I think if you take away what the team did and just think about, go to the end of that video and see what his career was, I think he had a pretty good career. I think that's exactly the type of, not exactly, but I think that's similar to how we could expect from him. Lots of hits, lots of blocks, very physical, 40-point kind of guy at his best, and eating 25+ minutes per night. I could see that kind of being what he does. Does Myers need to be moved? I think he does, but can the Canucks afford to be paying more money, dead money, to players who are not on the team? Yeah, I thought it was a good career. Colin Dalia signing as probably third goalie in Winnipeg, 1 year at $775K. Englund going to the Kings. Derek Englund, 2 years at $1 million to the LA Kings. We need the Green Cadola to be breaking news for us here in the chat. Appreciate you. Another depth move for LA. Let's go look at Vancouver, actually. I want to see Vancouver. What's their situation right now? So with LTIR candidates, they have $7.294 million. Projected cap space as of today is 1.5, but with LTIR of who, like Michael Furlan and guys like that, Ilya Mikheyev maybe. They still need a backup goalie. They're spending 20, like the Hurricanes are spending, sorry, not the Hurricanes. Was it the Sabres? The Sabres are, with Dahlin and Power, I would project that they're spending about $20 million on their top four come 2024. The Canucks are spending $22 million on their top four, and it's Hughes, Myers, Hronek, Cole. Now throw in Soucy. That's going to be $25 million on your top five defensemen. It's costly, and that's been hindering them from making other moves that they would want to make. It's going to be tough in Vancouver. And who's really here long term? JT Miller, Connor Garland for 3 more years, Quinn Hughes. You would want to have some more security with some of these guys. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of changes on the blue line after this season for sure in Vancouver. Derek Englund going to LA, 2 years at $1 million for that contract. The Luke Schenn deal now official. Brady Keeper, Montreal. Wasn't he in the Canadiens organization? No, he was in the Panthers organization, I think, right? Yeah, he was drafted by the Panthers, and he now goes to the Canadiens. Hey, Brady Keeper off the Montreal Canadiens. I hadn't even noticed that. Even Philippe Maillet, I hadn't seen that he was with the Canadiens. Philippe Maillet, who are these guys? I know Brady Keeper's in the Panthers organization. I think the Carolina has been rumored. Let's see. Brady Keeper, he was not drafted. He was signed by the Panthers out of the U of Maine. 2 NHL games in his experience. Yeah, this is a signing for Laval. Absolutely. Brady Keeper in the Montreal Canadiens organization. And what about this guy, Maillet? Philippe Maillet. From Lachenaie. From Lachenaie. Of course he's from Lachenaie. 30 years of age. He's going to play with Laval for sure. Coming over from the KHL. He did very well in the KHL, actually. So I'm sure he'll be with Laval. Maybe he finds his spot in Montreal. Philippe Maillet, bienvenue à l'équipe, mon ami. On va voir un party en Lachenaie ce soir.
That's the other big question. And then maybe the 33-year-old will be on the move. Let's check out the boardroom with Kyle and the Jets.
Oh, it's Andreas Englund. Derek Englund's retired, isn't he? I was thinking about that. Andreas Englund to the LA Kings.
Into the NHL awards on Monday night in Nashville because he was talking again about his future. He's open about wanting to go somewhere where he has an opportunity to win because he hasn't done so yet. On the surface, it looks great. 101 points. He's coming on.
Yeah, Lucic back to the Bruins.
So the contract continues to remain an issue. If you're working in the front office here, Jason, having a look at that player, what all goes into those conversations?
Well, obviously he wants to go to a contending team, wants to win a Stanley Cup. So right out of the box, there's, I don't know how many. Yes, he can be the Florida Panthers and go on a surprise run. But realistically, let's say there's 7 or 8 teams that we can throw into the bowl and say, yeah, he's got Stanley Cup contenders. I'm buying.
Back to TSN. It's on TSN.
The limbs don't move. Sometimes you can't get a sense of the net properly.
TSN, they're already doing the gimmicks. They're doing some sort of skits on a goaltending. TSN and the skits. Yeah, something crazy could happen. You still have the big names out there. Bunting, Killorn, Domi, Klingberg, Bertuzzi. I'm not going to stay live all day. It's already been more than I thought, actually. I thought we were going to do just about an hour. It's been like an hour 15, hour 20. We're getting close to 2 hours here. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say let's wrap it up maybe at 2 o'clock. We'll do the first 2 hours of free agency. I thought I was going to just do the first hour, but we'll do the first 2 hours. We're having a fun time in here. If it's just me talking to myself, it can get a bit tiring, but we're over 30 in here. A lot of you are engaged in the chat. I appreciate how much we're breaking it all down together. So thank you for your involvement. We'll go till 2 o'clock, another 17 minutes or so. We'll bring it till the first 2 hours. Vladdy Tarasenko, Vladdy Daddy, he's still unsigned as well. Worst signing in your opinion? Good question here, Ryan. Worst signing. I think the worst signing, my top 3, Justin Hall's not a good one because there's some that are just not good. Justin Hall, I don't like that signing very much. Let's just look at all the picks, all the signings from today. Radko Gudas is definitely a candidate. I think Eric Johnson might be the one when I think about it. Let me just go to the bottom here. I think actually can go even further. No, okay. Let me scroll up. I think Eric Johnson is my candidate for worst of the day so far. Yeah. Ian Cole at $3 million is a bit, actually, yeah, that's a bit much in my opinion as well. Yeah, worst signing of the day, Eric Johnson so far. 1 year, $3.25 million. Trevor Lewis is signing 1 year, $775K with the LA Kings. Trevor Lewis off to LA. No problem, Vinny. I'm doing my best with Twitter down. I'm doing my best. Who should the Penguins get as their starting goalie? I wanted them to get Freddie Anderson. I definitely don't want them to bring back Tristan Jarry. As someone who's doing the Penguins franchise mode, my brother's a Penguins fan. I'd say the Penguins are in my top 5 favorite teams. I like Pittsburgh a lot. I would say I would want them to, in a perfect world, make a run at getting Jeremy Swayman, who's an RFA. I would have wanted them to get Freddie Anderson, but that didn't work out. Who are the other good goalies who are available right now? Not too many. Not too many at all. So I would want them to try and make a run at Jeremy Swayman in a perfect world, but that's probably unlikely. That's true. Trevor Lewis won the Cup in LA. That's true. He was getting awful money from the Avs. Now he's getting awful money from the Sabres, in my opinion. If I had to say, let me go back over here. Can I see all the eligible free agents here actually on Cap Friendly? Let me see if I can pull up who are all the goalies who are available. Then we can maybe brainstorm some of this. Free agents. Yeah, actually, I think we can. Let's go here. Free agents who are available. Yeah. Free agents, sort by cap hit. And I want to see all goalies. There we go. Who are some of the best goalies who could still be available out there for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Update results. Let's see. All right. So Varlamov, I think he's staying with the New York Islanders. Jonathan, let's sort by, we're sorting by cap hit. Last season's cap hit. Yeah. Jonathan Bernier, no. Tristan Jarry, no. Khudobin, no. Alex Nedeljkovic could be a sneaky pickup for the Penguins. I could see Alex Nedeljkovic being a very interesting one. Yeah. John Klingberg is still available. Yes. Johnson chasing the bag. So Nedeljkovic could be an interesting option. Laurent Brassois, I don't know if I see him as a starter. Maple Leafs have Samsonov as an RFA. Swayman is an RFA. I don't think there's, like, if the Penguins don't go out and get Martin Jones or Alex Nedeljkovic, they're up the creek. Because then they have to give like a 1 year deal to a Jonathan Bernier or something. For someone who they could keep long term, I think you have to make a big run at Alex Nedeljkovic right now if you're the Penguins. If you're not going after Jeremy Swayman or any other of the RFAs or anything like that, Alex Nedeljkovic has to be a guy that you consider if you're the Pittsburgh Penguins. Trevor Lewis, yeah, he signed on. Andreas Englund signing with the LA Kings. Trevor Lewis, a lot of teams making good depth deals today. The Kings, the Rangers, the Bruins, a lot of teams making good depth deals. Devils trade Vitek and get Hellebuck. That would be something. Oh, boy.
Well, the Swedish...
the Penguins did sign Matt Nieto today as well.
He can just continue to play right wing. He does not play right wing.
Let's get to our newsbreakers. I'm sure they got some good stuff for us.
Newsbreaker. Let's see
you guys have some good stuff for us?
Max Pacioretty, is that good stuff?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
One-year deal, $2 million.
Knew that a while ago, buddy.
$2 million in performance bonuses. Max Pacioretty to the Caps.
Okay. So Max Pacioretty off the bus. So again, you have Max Pacioretty and you have Connor
That's
Brown, both coming off serious injuries and both finding 1 year deals, which is good.
Let's go to the newsbreakers. Here's news from 10 minutes ago, and that's it. Great.
Before getting hurt again. But we know what he can do. Big body guys like
Some prediction for top. Let's call. You know what? Let's call my shot. Let's do it while we're killing time. Let's go back to available free agents.
I guess if you want to call it that in Washington, where he went. Washington, yeah. So you got the
Shattenkirk to the Bruins. Another good depth signing right there. Depth as in someone who's just going to be playing less minutes, though. Kevin Shattenkirk, 1 year, $1 million to the Boston Bruins. How about that? Hold on. Take a pause right here. I like that for the Bruins very much. The Bruins, one of my winners, top 3 winners of free agency so far. Despite them missing out on Bertuzzi and Orlov, love the depth today. Morgan Geekie, Milan Lucic, James Van Riemsdyk, and now Kevin Shattenkirk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shattenkirk doesn't even have to play in their top 6 as they have all the way down to Zaboral already signed on. I like that for the Bruins. Nice little 6/7th D-man. Very good. Kevin Shattenkirk, 1 year, $1 million to the Boston Bruins. Not exactly who he used to be at his height with the St. Louis Blues. Signed a big deal with the Ducks, with the Blues getting 40 points per year and all that. But he's still a reliable enough guy. Let's pull up his card for the Bruins, for all you Bruins fans out there. Shattenkirk, he was making $3.9 million, and you know what? He's reliable enough. Taken a bit of a dip in the last couple of years or so, but even you think of him as an offensive guy, he's strong enough defensively, good penalty kill presence. I like this pickup very, very, very much for the Boston Bruins. That's a steal of a signing, not just for the AAV, just for getting it out of others' noses. Great deal for Kevin Shattenkirk. All right, back to Giovanni Smith going to the Sharks, 1 year, $800K. Nathan Bastian is officially signed by the Devils, 2 years at 1.35. Yeah, Giovanni Smith, there you go. Comfort, Tarasenko, Kaloran, Kane, Domi, Bertuzzi, Duchene, Bunting, all still available here. Solid signing for the Bruins. So let's go ahead. Ryan wants me to call my shot. I'm going to call my shot. Actually, I still have this comment up. Worst signing in my opinion. I still have that comment up. My apologies. Sorry, Ryan. Didn't mean to keep your comment up for so long. Sorry. Players, free agents. Let's see who's still out there. Yeah, maybe a bit high from Nathan Bastian, actually. All right, Patrick Kane is really tough to say because it's going to depend on teams who. It depends on what kind of contract he's looking for. Sorry, they're talking about that right now, actually.
I think in this trade or this signing season, with the cap where it's at, I'd be interested on a guy like Bunting, just because of his production ability to play with good players and what I can get out of him. And unfortunately, it's probably where can you fit him in and really add to your team. I think he's a guy that.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bunting now. All right, so looking at the top guys, it really depends on what kind of deal Patrick Kane's going to want to sign coming off of his hip surgery. I'm not going to make a prediction on Patrick Kane. I know the Stars are interested, but on Dustin Tokarski, back to Buffalo, 2 years. 2 years for Dustin Tokarski, making $775K per year. Now, you can't make $450. I think that's below league minimum. I must be 2 years at $775 per. Jonathan Toews, I think he'll find someone to sign with. I could see him being like a depth signing with Winnipeg. I think that would be something. Matt Duchene, I could see him in Chicago. I could see so many different things. I'm just throwing out random names for predictions here. Babcock coaching in Columbus. Time will tell on that. I think he did his time out of the league. Hopefully working with, I think it was in the University of Saskatchewan. Hopefully he learned how to better play with better coach younger players. So we'll give him a chance. Oh, his AHL deal. Gotcha. Denisenko extending with Florida, 2 years at $775K as well. Grigory Denisenko, former first-round pick, extending Denisenko with the Florida Panthers. I like that extension. Nice little league minimum to see what he can do. Former first-round pick, had good numbers in Charlotte with the AHL. Very nice. Kane would take 1 by 2.5. No, I think Kane would want, like, if he's taking a 1 year, I think we're at least at $5 million after he was making 10.5. I think that's at least what he wants. Matt Duchene, I'm going to say Chicago, a team that can pay him a lot of money. Tarasenko. I need to see all the teams. I'm forgetting a lot of teams probably. Tarasenko is going to go to the, let's call it the Anaheim Ducks. Let's just throw some random names out there. Duchene's going to sign a big contract with the Chicago Blackhawks, I say, money-wise. John Klingberg is going to sign with the Seattle Kraken. Here am I just Ryan asked for me to call my shot. I'm just going to throw some predictions out there and see what sticks. DeBrincat's going to get traded to the Ducks or the Red Wings. Dumba is going to be going to the Dumba's going to the New York Islanders. Jason Zucker is going to the Buffalo Sabres. Jonathan Drouin staying unsigned for a long time, and he's signing a league minimum deal with Chicago. That's all he's going to get. Let's see. Alex Killorn is going to sign a big deal with the Winnipeg Jets. There's some random predictions for you. Let's see what sticks. Let's see what sticks out of all that. All right, we're back to this screen. I don't like making predictions too much because, you know, there's so much that changes so quickly. Everyone thought that it was going to be DeBrincat to the Red Wings for so long, right? There are some predictions to kill some time. They're talking about Lucic here on TSN.
Kind of to the bottom of the lineup, but can still play on the power play and be a difference maker.
Championship pedigree.
Yeah.
Comes
with his jet skis. You can get a guy with a jet ski.
Max Pacioretty.
All right, so again, names coming off the board. Here's some of the notables. Ryan O'Reilly. In fact, no one's been busier than Barry Trotz so far today. I like the move.
So we're about wrapping up our coverage here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do 5 more minutes. I'm sure big names will get signed before the end of the day. I'm sure more will happen. I'm not going to go breaking news live stream every single time like one signing happens. A signing can be broken down pretty quickly. There's not like winners and losers. Here's the signing. Here's what it's for. And on top of that, here's how he looks for his player card. And we can see how he fits in the lineup. But there's really not much to say. I'm not going to do like another 8 5-minute live streams today. We've done a lot of live streams in the last few days. I got a lot to do myself in my own personal life, unfortunately, with the draft and with the player sim, and now with free agency taking up so much time. I've let a lot of other things fall by the wayside, so I got to do that right now. No movement clause on Pacioretty. Makes sense. That's good enough. We'll do 5 more minutes here, but I don't know if much more will drop as we approach the second hour, the end of the second hour of free agency. Still some big names out there, absolutely. Nathan Bastian. Let me look at Nathan Bastian signing for what was it again? 1.4? 1.35. 1.35 on Bastian. Nathan Bastian. Former second-round pick, had 15 points, was on a 30-point pace this last year. Yeah, I could see it. I could see 1.3 million, 1.35 on a 30-some point pace. Not horrible. If only Twitter was working, no problem. I would love to stay all day. If you know what, somebody has a $300 donation, I'd love to stay. But unfortunately, I got to get some work done. Got to pay the bills. But if anyone wants to pay the bills for me, I'll stay alive for another couple hours. Why not? But unfortunately, and then if Ryan drops the $10, there you go. Thanks, Ryan. That paid a half hour of work. Thank you very much. With the big, you've been here for a lot today, Ryan. Appreciate you and your involvement very much. Thanks a lot. $10 donation from Ryan, a certified Bello, Jumbo Joe's prodigy. Thank you very kindly. Over to TSN. Commercials on both channels. What about RDS or TVA? Do they have a free agency show today? Joueur autonome, LNH. Joueur autonome. Let's see what they have to say here on TVA Sport. Kane to Pittsburgh? No way. That would be I need to see some more sources on that, Gary. On va retrouver un autre... Bunting to Carolina. Michael Bunting. Wait, Michael Bunting. On n'a pas les détails encore. Environ 5 millions. Around 5 million. And Dexter with a $10.01 donation. Thank you, Dexter. You're a good one. I can always count on you. Thanks, buddy.
Des Hurricanes, on est un peu moins chiche, admettons qu'on l'était, Elisabeth.
Renaud, le Canadien va faire le point. Ken Hughes va parler dans les prochains instants via vidéoconférence.
Canadians press conference coming up.
Buy any of our best-selling pillows and get the second free.
Buying pillows. Come on, TV. Let's get Hockey Central back here. So Michael Bunting to the Hurricanes. All right, we don't know the details on it yet. Michael Bunting. I don't know how the Hurricanes are doing it. They're huge winners today in free agency. They are huge winners today. Dwight Dexter? Perfect. He's coming off of a 49-point season. The year prior, he had 63 in his rookie season, kind of. He was incredible in 2021-22. In 22-23, took a bit of a step back. Was that due to ice time? Was that due to them bringing in other stars and getting pushed down the lineup a little bit? How could it be on RDS? They break it right away, but on TSN and Sportsnet, they're talking to Milan Lucic. Lucic just doing the rounds. He was on TSN, now he's on Sportsnet. At least shout out to the French networks getting it done. And now Ryan says he will not be beat. He's up by another 10. That's 20 now from Ryan. Up on top, number one donator of the day. Ryan, you're on top. Dexter, you're outbeat by $9.99. So Michael Bunting, his ice time was up actually. His ice time was up to 15:48 by the end of the year. Nah, he was getting his ice time. He was getting it done. The Canadians are just going to have Ken Hughes is just going to talk about what he did today. It's not going to be anything crazy. So Michael Bunting off to the Carolina Hurricanes. Renaud Lavoie said it was around $5 million. So we'll see momentarily what it's actually going to be. But it is going to be a very nice fit, in my opinion, for Michael Bunting and the Carolina Hurricanes. Can I please? Come on. It's so hard to just get things typed out. Hopefully the Canes can stay healthy and get over the hump this year. I think the Hurricanes have established themselves as Stanley Cup, at least top 3 Stanley Cup favorites. Michael Bunting, what has he done recently? 73rd percentile, crazy in that goals per 60, at 97th percentile in goals per 60. His offense has gone up and his defense has gone down, but he's still in that 73rd percentile of wins above replacement. He's been very, very good with the Leafs. He benefited from playing with better players. Now he's still going to play with good players, but he gets to move on and go to the Carolina Hurricanes, another good team. Now, what will he do there? Matt Luff signing with Detroit as well. 1 year, $775K for Matt Luff on an extension, actually. So let's go see the Carolina Hurricanes. How does that fit? We're saying around $5 million. We still don't know what it actually is, but that would bring them probably down to about $2.5 million to play with. And that makes their forwards now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Jarvis, 9 Bunting. There's the top 9. Actually, no. Andrei Svechnikov's not here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on, I'm having trouble here. Go to the depth chart. Call it even. Dexter calls it even at $9.99. Call it even 20 and 20. And Ryan drops the $2 as well. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you very much. You're helping to pay my way. A lot of my time in the last couple of weeks have been dedicated away from work and to the channel. So it really does go a long way. Thank you. So now the lineup. So remove maybe Jarvis or Kotkaniemi from the top 6 and throw in Bunting. Or maybe Bunting even plays third line and put Martinook down on the fourth line. But yeah, the Hurricanes look scary out there. They look scary. I'll be curious to see what his AAV is. But those are some scary numbers. Let's just highlight all of these. Thank you to all of you in the chat. Ryan starting off with 10. Dexter comes back at 10.01. Connor Sheary's contract is 3 years for $2 million, by the way. Donos are just pouring in. Ryan comes right back with 10. Dexter says, let's call it even at $9.99. And then Ryan coming in as well. 2 Ryans in here with the donations. 3-year deal for Michael Bunting. Now, is it going to be a 3x5? I'm gonna predict 3x5 on Michael Bunting. Connor Sheary got 3 years, $2 million. I'm going to predict 3x5. Let's go back. Twitter's still not going to work, of course. Do I go back to TVA or something? They're still talking about Lucic on Sportsnet. It's been Lucic and Reeves all day. Yeah, let's go. TVA, I'm going to go with them. Joueur Rotterdam. There's also émission spéciale on RDS.
Donc, il y a une progression à faire, mais on n'est pas rendu là du côté.
So yeah, François Gagnon on RDS and Renaud Lavoie on TVA. Now, RDS are just talking about the Canadians. Nico Mikola, 3 years at $2.5 million to the Florida Panthers. We were just talking about how we loved what the Panthers were doing today on their blue line. They get Mikola on a great deal there as well. Connor Sheary to the Lightning, we had said 3 years at $2 million per year. Josh Curry to the Ottawa Senators. Where's Florida? Mikola signed. They love their power forwards. Yeah. Off to a Canadians game soon. Good. A baseball game, you mean? Like Blue Jays? So Mikola, that's great. That gives now the Panthers get their 7th defenseman, or it's one of these 6 to become a 7th. I love this blue line for the Panthers in terms of good guys on value deals. Mikola to the Panthers. Just waiting for the details on Michael Bunting, who's signing a 3-year contract with the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh, the Vancouver Canadians. Gotcha.
Ça n'a aucun bon sens comme rachat de contrat. Ça ne fait aucun sens. Essaye de l'échanger, trouve une autre option, retiens 50% du salaire, mais rachète pas le contrat de cette façon-là. Ça va menotter les prédateurs de Nashville dans les prochaines années. Il n'y a aucun doute là-dessus. Puis écoute, Joel Armia, est-ce qu'il peut en donner plus?
Now, of course, they're talking about the Canadians too now. So, bye-bye. Salut, Renaud. Yeah, Klingberg is still in free agency. He's still an unrestricted free agent.
Still some business to take care of, though. Lots of big names available. Keep it locked here. Signing season rolls on.
Let's go back to TSN.
And Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner.
They're talking about Bunting now, finally.
That's why he was a 23-goal scorer 2 years in a row. That's why he's a 50-point guy. I will say this.
Matt Dumba, also a free agent, yeah.
Players, you have to be able to play with them. If the
Imama to the Senators? Oh, legend. Sweet. I love Imama.
Offensive zone, they're right to the coach and saying, listen, I can't play with this guy. Like, get me someone else. So he's done a good job here over the last 2 years. He can play with good players. I imagine if the team signs him, he can play lower in the lineup. He can play higher in the lineup. At some point, he goes today.
If a team, what do you mean? If at some point he goes today, he's going to the Hurricanes. These guys. Who is this guy? It's that former Leafs player who TSN's always pumping out. Canes and Penguins are in on Carlson, according to Jay Fresh. Now, how do you check this? Well, this is all on Cap Friendly. You can go to players and click on free agents. It'll show you all the players who are available in free agency right now. So you see Patty Kane, Jonathan Toews, Matt Duchene, Tarasenko, Klingberg, DeBrincat, Dumba, Zucker, Drouin, Bailey, Bertuzzi, Tatar, Killorn, down the list, Dumoulin, everybody. You can see all the players who are currently UFAs.
Back and forth. Trying to finalize this. It will be a 3-year deal, around $4.5 million a year for Michael Bunting. But, I just want to stress that this deal has not been finalized yet.
Not been finalized. So Michael Bunting not finalized, but 3 years around $4.5 million seems to be the deal.
He had a real good year in Dallas.
No, Pierre LeBrun just said it.
What's the situation with him?
Well,
and Renaud Lavoie had said it as well on TVA.
The Dallas Stars have a couple of forwards in mind, but they continue to have an open dialogue with Judd Moldaver, who represents Max Domi. But interestingly enough, the Toronto Maple Leafs are also kicking tires on Max Domi. And in fact, it's not just those two teams. And, based on what Chris said, and you just reminded us of, Gordy, it's because of the year and the fit that he had with Dallas. He caught good attention across the National Hockey League. What's going to be most curious is what is the length of that deal, right? Could it be a 1-year deal? Could it be a 3-year deal, a 4-year deal? There's a lot of things that are still up in the air, but intriguing that the Maple Leafs want to continue to add that type of player to terminate if shooting grip.
All right, Bob McKenzie on Max Pacioretty and his contract structure.
Yeah, we mentioned before, it's a 1-year deal, and coming off not just 1, but 2 ruptured Achilles tendon. Max Pacioretty signed this deal with the Washington Capitals. He gets $2 million base salary, and that is the AAV that will go
on the books for the salary cap. So Washington absorbs a $2 million cap hit. But once he plays 10 games for the Washington Capitals, which my guess is later October, November, be healthy again enough to play, he gets $1 million bonus for a 10-game mark.
Play 10 games, get $1 million.
$1,000 bonus at the 15-game mark, and a $500,000 bonus at the 20-game mark.
What?
So $2 million.
Play 20 games and get $20 million.
For playing 20 games.
Wow.
On top of the $2 million.
Play 20 games, get $2 million bonus.
Doesn't get applied to the cap this coming season. It would be what's called the bonus overage that would go to the following season when the cap is expected to go up significantly.
And that amount
Interesting.
would be deducted from the following year's salary cap. But if it goes up significantly, Washington's still in pretty good shape. Chris, Matt.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, one of the top names, but he was a late emergent on his free agent list because he was bought out just before the first window closed yesterday. And, you know, I think that the sense right now is there's certainly lots of interest in him, of course, given his resume and all that he's done, and the fact that he's going to be coming in, I would think, at a salary cheaper than the one he was just playing on in Nashville. But I don't think he's necessarily in a rush. And you know, when you're in the position he is, you know, obviously the money isn't forever out there, but I think he can take some time here, make this decision, and isn't necessarily going to come in this flurry of moves we're seeing now.
And we can point out that we talk about players that are eligible to get bonuses in their contracts over 35. Our Trevor Lewis goes back to the LA Kings, where he was
Okay, nothing new now. Nothing new now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about just ready to wrap this one up. It has been a fun couple hours plus here watching everything unfold. It seems as though Michael Bunting to the Hurricanes will happen. 3 years, around $4.5 million. Still waiting to see what the official details are on that one. I'd love to stay longer. I appreciate the donations a lot as well. It really helps me to get a lot of my other work done. But with the draft, with the career simulation, I got to get some other things done, unfortunately, and I got to start heading out. But it was a fun couple hours being here with all of you. This was the last scheduled live stream for a little while. I'm going to have a channel update soon for what I'm going to be doing in July. I'm going to be out of the country for a couple of weeks. It's going to be a busy July, so it's not going to be the most content as per usual summers, but we'll be back to the usual schedule in August. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll break news with a live stream. Maybe, let's say, if someone like Tarasenko or Kane were to sign a deal next week, that will be a live stream. But until then, maybe the last time that we talk live for a little bit. So thank you, everyone, for the draft, for the free agency, for being here the last little bit. It has been an absolute pleasure, not just to talk hockey, but to be discussing all these things with all of you. Thank you, everyone, for the love. Thank you for being here in the chat. Leave a like if you haven't already. And of course, if you haven't done so, subscribe. And the biggest thing I got to say is join the Discord server if you haven't already. We'll continue to break news. People who have access to Twitter will continue to break news. So if you want to continue to get breaking news on what happens in here in free agency, make sure that you are watching the Discord server because a lot of information is dropped there. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a wonderful Canada Day, a great weekend, a great start to your summer and a start to your July. It's been a great pleasure doing so many live streams. I think we're at probably 15 in the last week. I'm looking forward to more to come, but also it's going to be a nice little summer now after a busy hockey season. Have yourselves a great day, great weekend, great Canada Day. We'll talk soon, everybody. Enjoy the rest of free agency. I'll be following it very closely, even though we're not live. And we'll be talking more in the Discord server. So thanks again, and we'll talk soon.